What are you eating?
We could have pushed this back a bit
Uh,
if you want to finish eating.
no, I'm almost done. I'm on my last bite. The pasta steamed fish. It's
Oh,
not very good. We got it H Mart.
yeah, but it depends on how you cook it.
Steam it, then we used fish soy sauce, and then heat up some oil and put it on top. Ginger and some scallions during
Oh,
the
okay.
steam.
Oh, okay. You just ate it like almost like the normal steamed fish.
How do you do it?
Pasta, we usually it's best to use it in like in like a soup. Some
Oh,
people
okay.
use it in a curry too. Like Thai
Mm.
people like to use it in a curry.
What's a good fish for steaming then?
Tilapia,
Tilapia?
most fishes are good for steaming.
Just not pasta?
Well, pasta, it's just that, like yeah, not really. I don't know,
Yeah.
because it's already cut up and like filleted and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually that wouldn't be good for steaming. Like steaming is best done with like a
The whole
live
fish?
fish. Yeah, the whole fish.
Yeah, but I'm not skilled for that. Do you do whole fish? Do you
Yeah, if
steam
we
whole
want to steam
fish?
a fish, we get the whole fish.
Damn. How do you butcher it?
You scale it and you cut off the tail and
You
some of
scale
the
it?
fins. Yeah, because the live fish still has its scales on, right? So you gotta like use a knife and kind of scrape off the scales.
Is that easy?
Yeah, it's just you just gotta scrape off the scales. That's all. You take like the
Just
back of
use
the
a knife.
knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just take the back of the knife and whatever, and then you just use like you could just use like the unsharpened back of the knife and just like rub it across the
Oh,
fish, and it should get
yeah.
and then just do it enough to get the scales off.
Where do you buy your live fish from?
You can just get it from TNT, Superstore, or wherever.
Mm, interesting.
I'm not a
Yeah,
Yeah.
fan of cooked fish.
good fish is good. It's one of my wife's favorite foods, the
But
steamed fish.
we don't have the tools to cook a big fish like that.
Yeah, you need a.
You know, a big steamer, right? Like a big wok.
You could just have a wok and just a lid on top of it.
We don't have either. Neither.
Yeah, so it would be hard. Well, what
Yeah.
would you have? You could just put it in a pan or whatever.
What? To steam? We don't have a lid.
Yeah, that's all you need is the lid, though. Like you can put it in, as long as the pot fits, as long as you have something to cover it.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I don't know. We even have trouble with just the fillet.
some people just put a plate over the pot
Uh,
or the
yeah.
pan.
Oh, you don't have anything big enough for a fillet?
No, we have trouble with the fillet already. So a whole life just seems cumbersome.
Do you just not have like big pots or pans?
Yeah, is it a matter of
Uh,
size that you can't fit it? Like a
it's just
fillet?
no fillet is fine. It's just the whole fish, like a live fish. I think it's tough. Yeah, we have like traditional like soup bowls or soup pots and stuff, but not like woks. Nothing that fans out.
So you don't have pans then?
Yeah, we have cast iron and
Is it just is it
stainless
just
steel ones.
is it just too
Like,
small? You can't even put like a small. You can't even put fillets in.
well, it'd be like frying it though. It'd be like frying the fish. Wouldn't be steaming.
Yeah, well, you just need something to put it on top, and then like you just need to put it
The
on
thing I don't
something.
have is the lid. I don't have the lid for my pans.
I see. So
Yeah, I think that
how'd you steam this tilapia then?
or the basa.
Oh,
It
sorry,
was cut
basa.
in. It was cut in. Like you say, fillet pieces, and then we
But you
put
don't
in
have a lid, so how'd you steam it?
well, we put in a soup bowl, like a soup pot.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like a pressure cooker without the pressure part.
Okay. I see.
Mhm.
So and then you just straight up steamed it. With the
Yeah.
steamed fish, you have to heat up some oil as well, because then you pour the
Yeah.
oil
That's
over it to sizzle it.
yeah. 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 We did that after.
But the thing is, like, well, that is usually you pour it over the skin, so then the skin can like take that. I don't. Since it's just it's just like a fillet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will do much anyways. This
Oh,
is
I
not
see what you're saying.
this
I
is
see what you're
you're
saying.
not gonna get the best taste out just by steaming, I feel like. Unless someone corrects me. I don't give a shit. Like if you ask like a fucking chef, maybe they'll be like, "Oh, you're fucking wrong. There's so many ways to
You
steam
might
the
be right.
fish."
You might be right on that. Yeah. I think steamed fish were not very great. I think the ones we do well is like baked fish, like salmon. That one's good. Like you wrap in tinfoil, toss in the oven.
Yeah, you can bake anything though.
Yeah. But I found baked salmon is really good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, well, the salmon you don't really steam salmon. There's no recipe. There's no
That's
Chinese
true.
recipe at least to do like a steamed salmon.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure
You
there's recipes out there for it.
Yeah,
steam
but they'll
salmon?
just be stupid. It wouldn't. Yeah, it
People
would be
cook
stupid.
stuff like every way possible.
I mean, there's deep fried turkey.
Yeah,
Cook turkey with a deep fryer.
yeah, you can deep fry anything nowadays.
Yeah. All right. We're ready to go.
Okay. So welcome everybody. New episode of the Black Sieve. Waited a little bit longer than we wanted to. It's been a month since our last episode.
But
So many
as
things
you'll
have-
probably have noticed, the time was spent revamping the intro, right?
No, not
That-
really. We didn't need all
that's where
that
the
time to
time went.
revamp anything at all.
Nothing was spam.
Calling
Uh,
us out.
It's just me, Jason, and B Money here today. Son and Phil are not here. They are pursuing a career as the 2021 Indiana Jones, but it's hard for them to travel anywhere because of COVID, so they are just at home.
Is Harrison Ford no longer playing his role in Indiana Jones?
I haven't
I-
seen the latest movie, but I heard it sucked like really
The
bad.
Crystal Skull?
Yeah,
That was no good.
Yeah, I heard
No,
it was
that
I
was
great.
heard it was terrible.
But they're making a new one, as you're alluding to, right?
Is Harrison Ford gonna be in it, or is it gonna be like wasn't Shia LaBeouf or something is playing his son or something? Again, I haven't seen that latest movie, so I don't know.
I don't know if Harrison Ford will be in it. He was in Blade Runner, the last one, the most newest Blade Runner.
Yeah, but that was like a cameo part, right? He wasn't.
No,
No,
he
he
was
had yeah, in the
significant
second
role.
half he had a pretty important role.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he wasn't like in throughout the movie.
he was.
No, but he wasn't like a cameo either. Like
Yeah.
technically he is showing up as him in a cameo, but it was actually he had purpose. Like the story included him
Yeah.
showing up.
He wasn't like that old man in
He's
Marvel
not like
movies.
yeah, it's not
What's
like an
his name?
Eastern Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, yeah. He wasn't
Right.
Stan Lee.
No.
He was more like
He wasn't an Easter egg. He was actually part of the story.
like Leonard Nimoy. It's kind of like that, where he's like pivotal to the plot, but he wasn't there. That he didn't have like all the screen time, but he was there.
Yeah, I saw Blade Runner. I just don't remember it much.
Well,
Been a while.
it was a movie
Yeah.
to tell you that the main character is not important. That was the movie. That was the point of the movie.
Thank you. Well, you distilled it very nicely for us. I'm not sure. Maybe this would have already played by the time we air this. But this may be the first episode where we put in an intro song.
Yeah, that's where we spent the time, revamping
Wait,
the intro.
I thought you added it to the last episode.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you
I
did.
just gave you guys a sample of what it might be like.
Oh, like a record deal.
Yeah,
like a
that's what
demo
I
reel.
meant.
I
Where
gave you a
we
demo.
we haven't recorded in a while because we were revamping the intro.
No, that's a lie. It took me like just not even a day to do that. So all of this other time was just
Oh, so-
spent.
I'm not allowed to lie about it, but you're allowed to lie about what other members are doing since they couldn't make it.
You think that's a lie?
Yes, I do.
Regardless, yes, all that is fair game. When they're not here, the rule is we can say whatever we want and give them whatever story we feel like doing because it is all 100% the truth.
Do you think there's actually any like stuff left to discover in the world? Like an archaeologist, how much work do they actually do out in the field nowadays?
Well, I think they still have stuff to do. There's plenty of old stuff that they.
They're still uncovering bones. They're still uncovering like snow samples to show global warming's effects and stuff.
Yeah, no, those are not
archaeologists wouldn't
archaeologists
look at
doing
that, though. Yeah,
No,
they'd look
those
at
are totally
artifacts.
archaeologists. Who else would be doing that?
Like fucking climate scientists.
Yeah, they could be
specifically
dual.
go to the Antarctic to fucking
could have
drill out a
dual.
core of ice, and then they just fucking.
When they discovered the meteor, wasn't part of it in Antarctica too? Like the crater for the meteor that just hit the dinosaur and wiped them out.
Why would that be an archaeologist?
Because they were finding dinosaur bones and.
Wouldn't that be a paleontologist or something?
What's the difference?
They specialize in dinosaurs.
Yeah, man, they're not the same.
No? Okay.
No.
So the people who find like say sarcophagus in Egypt.
Those are archaeologists, yeah.
Those archaeologists?
Yeah.
But they found dinosaur bones. Then
I think archaeologists would pertain to like human stuff, like artifacts and stuff made by humans.
So what happens if you're an archaeologist and you found dinosaur bones in Egypt? Would you just like cover it?
I guess you just fucking
and then you call someone?
Your paleontologist friend. You might not even know what the fuck you're looking at.
Would you be in trouble if you like uncovered dinosaur bones and you're like, shit, that's not my role, and then you like,
well, I don't think you can cover. You wouldn't be in trouble for it. You just call it in and then you get your cut.
You're taking someone's job. Would you get a
cut?
No,
because you get sued? You can't study it to their extent, right? But you could like call them and like be like, "Hey, I found this. I'll give you the location if you give me money."
Extortion.
It's not extortion. You're doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah, because it'd be like, oh yeah,
fee.
or it's the paleontologist be like, why don't you just give me the location, and I don't give you money.
Like, no, that's not how it works. It's a finder's fee.
Yeah, there you go. You're extorting them.
It's just a finder's fee, you know. It's like, oh, I found a good deal, and you know, if you want in on it, then
finder's fee is
So
extortion.
So when you found someone's like iPhone, is that what you do? Like
extort them?
It's like, I found your phone. If you want it back, just give me my cut.
Well, usually there'd be a reward for that kind of stuff. It's like it's like posters for lost pets and stuff. It's like there's usually a reward attached.
But what if you're like,
but what if
saw
you found
the guy
the dog?
dropped it? You saw the guy dropped it and you picked it up. You wouldn't like ask for a reward then, would you?
Depends how nice the phone is.
Well, you could be one of those guys out there that just like what they do is they just go look around these for pets, or they even kidnap pets, and then they call the owner after once the reward is posted and be like, okay, I found your dog, so you're gonna pay me the reward then? You're not gonna get the dog back if you don't pay me the reward.
I wonder how that works for them, because what if the owner actually wanted to get rid of the dog? You'd be waiting forever.
Well, you're going, then that just sounds like a Guy Ritchie movie then. The owner wanted to get rid of the dog, and then there was a guy that was kidnapping dogs to get money.
Yeah.
And calls it in. The owner doesn't want it. Fuck, man, I was trying to get rid of the dog. Now that's a movie. That's a movie plot. In real life, though, I think it's. I'm more like curious. Okay, so if you were the guy that found the dog for the reward, you call the owner. And what if the owner says, "No, I don't have the money right now"? Well, then what do? Do you like, well, you can say like, "Oh, well, then you should have posted the money reward. Now I'm not giving you your dog back."
It's like a hostage situation.
You know?
I think there's a difference between kidnapping a dog and finding a lost dog.
Well, what if the guy wants his reward and the owner doesn't have the reward?
Well, usually it's not that much money, anyways.
But if
Well,
you're the
let's
owner
just
of
say
a
it
dog,
was.
you couldn't tell the difference between a kidnapping and a lost dog unless the kidnapper said, "I kidnapped your dog."
Well, no, because a lost dog, they would put flyers and stuff out for it. That's how a person
Yeah,
would know it's
but you could
lost.
force someone to lose a dog by kidnapping them. But from the owner's perspective, they could think that the dog is lost.
Yeah, no shit. That's an actual thing. Like that's what I was saying. There's people that actually kidnap pets, and
Yeah,
then they
but
wait
Jason,
for the reward to be posted.
but Jason's saying there's a difference, and I'm saying from the owner's perspective, how would you know that your dog's not lost versus kidnapped?
It just depends on how you lost the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, if it was like in your home or something, and then all of a sudden it's missing, then that might be different. Then
But like, if
you
your
go
dog
out
is
for a
missing
walk,
from your
you
home,
drop the leash, and then it's gone.
you wouldn't think your dog was kidnapped, right?
Well, that's how they find out
You
these
might.
cases.
What if your house was like fully locked up and stuff, and then you see like a broken window and your dog's gone?
You would think the dog broke the window and escaped.
You would think
No,
that.
what? I would not think that at all.
Can you tell if your window's broken, if the break-in was from the outside in versus the inside out? How would you know?
Where the broken glasses?
Oh, what if it's evenly
You
distributed?
would be a fucking terrible detective. I'll tell you this right now. Like you would be awful. You show up to the crime scene. How are we sure that it was the bullets that killed this guy?
Well, there's bullet holes in them, but I guess he could have had a heart
Well, I
attack
mean,
right
it
at the
could have just
moment.
been It could have been COVID. You don't know that. You can't come to
I
conclusions.
would be like Tenant. I would come to a crime scene where there's bullet holes and be like, "What happened?" I'll be like, "It hasn't happened yet," and then things rewind.
Yeah, there's no way.
How
They
would
would be
things
like,
rewind? You just be waiting for something to happen and nothing happens, except
dude,
the police ask you to kindly get in the back of the car.
man, the
I
greatest case of your detective career would be how did you become a detective in the first place?
There's
That's
your
gonna be one.
movie.
that would be when I was talking about Tenant with my other friends. One of my friends, when he saw the scene where they walked through the hallway and they said, "Oh, what happened?" and he said, "Hasn't happened yet," and then the scene rewinds of the combat scene. And he said that he thought the theme of the movie was going to be like that, where he'll keep entering to a crime scene or a place where things has already happened, and then for him to know what happened, things rewind for him. I thought that was an interesting concept. Sadly, the movie wasn't like that at all. But
I have watched Tenet since the last time you talked about it.
yeah,
But yeah, it is a kind of messed up movie.
what's so messed up about it? I mean, it's so straightforward. I feel
You know
The whole
what?
point is that it's not straightforward.
You know what we should do?
that's true.
I will watch Tenet, and then we will have a movie review episode.
Okay,
Would you
sure.
recommend Zinzan watching Tenet with subtitles or without subtitles?
What the fuck?
Wait, why are you asking Zinzin if he hasn't seen the movie yet?
No, I'm asking you, Jason. Would you
Oh, well, you
recommend
said
to
Zinzin, so that's where.
No, I said, would you recommend to Zinzin to
Oh,
watch
okay,
it with
okay.
subtitles or without? What would your
Uh,
recommendation is?
I would say, well, I watched it with subtitles just because I'm kind of used to subtitles. But
But that wasn't
I don't
the
know if it'll
intent of
make a
the.
huge. It wouldn't make a huge difference.
It does make a difference because the
It's a
intent of
thing, right?
the
It's a-
director had an intent for you to watch it without subtitles and for you to be obscured by his dialogue so you couldn't hear it because the sound mixing put other sounds over dialogue. He did it on purpose.
Oh, so they kind of just fucked them by putting the subtitles in?
Well,
The
if
original
you put
movie was
subtitles, you can understand what they say. But if you didn't have subtitles, it's difficult to understand
But
what
I
the hell
still
they're
barely
saying.
understood what they were saying.
Because they're like, okay, they're talking about something really important while they're jet skiing, and you just hear the engine of the jets, and you're like, what the fuck are they saying?
Oh, so he deliberately
I
did
don't
that. It
think it
wasn't
made a
like a
difference.
He
mistake.
deliberately did that.
I
Yeah, it
had
was
no
not a
idea what was
mistake.
going on, so didn't make a difference to me.
Oh, he's been doing that for a while. Like even the Dark
So
Knight Rises.
So for Bane, when it was everything's muffled, he deliberately made it so it was hard to hear him.
I don't
He
know if you
wanted to
watched
hard
the
to hear.
initial trailer that came out for Dark Knight Rises, but if you remember that, Bane's voice was actually way worse.
Yeah,
So
of
he
course. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
couldn't
was
remember
even
it was
really
make
very
out.
muffled.
muffled.
I think there's a comparison video on YouTube that
No, but I mean,
has it.
like he meant for Bane to be just on what unintelligible on what he's saying.
Well,
Like he
no,
did.
he was intelligible. It's just that he meant it. It was hard for you. Yeah, he didn't want you to. I guess what he wanted is that he didn't. His dialogue isn't as important as other things. That's what he wants to stress about.
Yeah,
Like,
but he backtracked on that pretty hard, very publicly. Didn't
I
he?
don't
So
know. Yeah, he did backtrack. I guess he caved into the test audience reviews of it, the test screenings, to say like, okay, he'll change the audio or mix it in a way that was a lot better or
okay.
more clear. But if you notice in his other movies, the ones after the words like Interstellar, um, what's that war one called again?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk, right? They have they do that a lot. People talk in mask all the time, or the sound like atmospheric sound is louder than the dialogue itself. He's been doing that a lot. Like it's a technique. I mean, there are movies that done that before, right? Where sometimes the character will say something and you hear like a couples movie, like the lovers are departing and the guy's leaving the girl, and you could hear the steamboat engine uh screaming and stuff, and the guy's trying to say goodbye, but you can't really hear what words he's saying, but you can kind of tell like what he's saying. That's like just hard for the girl to hear while he leaves her, kind of thing. Like there's scenes like that, or like scenes where up an airplane would be going off and you can't really hear the
Yeah, no.
dialogue.
Yeah, no. I understand the concept.
Yeah.
I just why? Why would this?
Well, maybe he's wanting to pull that effect. It's like
Well, he
you
already.
know,
Well, I mean, he already backtracked on that in Dark Knight.
he
So
backtracked it once, but he continued to keep doing it. There's he has reviews from other filmmakers that watch his films and gave him reviews, and a few of his what do you call colleagues also mentions your dialogue is inaudible.
yeah.
So
So then, I think at this point it's not like a fucking like a nouveau feature. It's just like a fucking annoyance. So
it's
why
an
even?
annoyance. Why is he doing it? He's just an artist. I guess he's just trying to nail something, nail it down. I guess I don't know. Maybe he's just experimenting.
I
He's
kind
a
of get it if he's doing it in a way that's like you can't make out what they're saying, or you could barely make out what they're saying because of noises in the background. Because that makes sense. Like, oh, you're on a plane, you're going to hear the plane engines and such. But I think it's different in the case of like Dark Knight Rises, where you can't hear what Bane is saying because his voice is so muffled from the mask and stuff. Just because like you
I'm
can't even make out any words that he's saying from what I remember, and it's like you still want to have dialogue from him because he's one of the main characters, and you want to know what he's
I mean, in
trying to say.
reality, he didn't really say anything that you needed to hear. Like all his things that he said was kind of memeable. Like they
yeah. That
weren't
was
they weren't too important. Like if you missed it, like if you didn't hear him say "the fire rises," you wouldn't have missed much.
what the fuck. Well, everything he said in that movie has become a meme. So none of this would have happened if we couldn't hear what the fuck Bane was saying.
Well, it would be a new meme.
There would be
It would
no
just be
memes.
like burble, blurble, 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 and then things happen.
Yeah, it would have been a terrible movie. I don't know why he has such a fucking hard on to make fucking muffled dialogue. This is more of annoyance than anything.
Now it's becoming more of an annoyance. I guess it's. I mean, his movies since the beginning has always been like a puzzle box. He enjoys movies that are you need to kind of like
Think
try to like unravel as you're
You
watching
need
it.
to be annoyed while you're watching it. You're like, why the
Well,
fuck
I
you
think
doing
it's
this?
more of like an active process. Like you need to be like you need to pay attention. Like you can't just kind of view it as a passive viewer. You always have to constantly be actively thinking like why your character's doing things like that. And in some ways it's kind of annoying because his characters become less of a character because they're not like a scene where people are talking to each other. In his movies, they're not talking to each other. They're talking to the audience. They're usually like exposition, right? They're always like explaining to the audience how things are going to happen or what you need to understand so the next scene makes more sense kind of thing. They never
Like-
really talk to each other.
He's
That's
like
one
that guy.
challenge.
He's like those guys that were on like MasterChef that was or whatever cooking show that they would just were too into like the fucking niche stuff and this fucking meta arc of like making food that they just made everything out of like fucking like everything's like chemically made for taste and it's like lots of dried ice, lots of like fucking
What is that called? Gastronomy, right?
gastronomy or something like super into
Yeah.
that. So then they made their food basically. It just looks like science experiment.
Have
And
you
then
ever had any?
and then when they went up to the judge, I've never had any either because it's super expensive. It's like a it's
Yeah, I
like
was
a
just
fucking
wondering if it's any good.
it's turtleneck food. It's turtleneck motherfucking food. And then
I mean,
you
it
would
sounds
love
kind of
it.
cool.
Yeah, of course you would love it. It's catered towards people like you. But the judge, I remember the show was like at the end they're like, "What the fuck is this?" It's like I just wanted a steak. And
I
it was
mean,
just
what?
fucking it was like beef made like distilled from a liquid or some shit like that or something very similar to that.
Like, don't you like it when you eat food and you have vapors coming out of your mouth like you're vaping?
I don't you like it's like yeah it's like oh you like eating you like eating noodles well you think you would like it more if it was just instead of eating it through your mouth it was experienced by injecting it subdermally into the layer of your skin and as another way of enjoying noodles. I think
Noodles are
Nolan
noodles.
Nolan has kind of reached that point with with movies where he just wants to fucking push the envelope, but he pushes it in like fucking backwards.
In some case, for Nolan, he's still very good at practical effects. Like the scene where they crashed an airplane was still
Yeah,
very
no, he's one
special.
of
It
the
was a
best
really good
at
scene.
cinematic.
Yeah, like he's one of the few that still does practical effects. Like Dark Knight, right? Or sorry, the Dark Knight when they flipped to the semi was pretty sweet. That was a good shot. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
like all his movies have very memorable scenes where it's just very cinematically done and everything. And
mhm.
it's well, I was trying to remember some of his older movies that had really cinematic ones,
Inception.
but it's just
Inception had the rotating hallway when
yeah.
Arthur was
But I
fighting
mean
on
like even
the
older movies. Like I think Memento was done by him, right?
Mementos, but done by him. But it didn't really. It wasn't like a blockbuster kind of movie. Like there wasn't
Oh
big
yeah, it doesn't have to be a
explosions.
blockbuster, but he made the movies. So I was trying to think of like I remember specific scenes, but I don't think it's memorable because it's cinematic. But it might just be when he gets big budget movies, he tries to go for very visual, pleasing
I think
scenes.
it's because it costs money. Memento was made on a shoestring budget, right? There was
Yeah,
like one town. They didn't really do much location shooting, and they shot at a motel, so they really save money on that cost.
it was a good movie though. Way
Yeah, I
less
liked it.
makes way more sense than Tenant. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I think Tenant. It's a good experience. Like the concept is interesting, and the fight scenes are really cool. I feel like the fighting backwards is a really unique thing.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure.
I just
It's
wish
just
it
the
wasn't so many
storyline
cuts,
itself
though.
and stuff is messy.
All
Yeah,
right. Should we even do a movie review episode on it or
Well, you could just say what you think once you see it.
yeah.
no?
And if
There's not much time.
Hassan's in that one, I'm sure he's seen it.
I feel like at this rate, I think I'm just gonna drop a one-liner and that'll be it.
That's good enough.
You should drop it backwards. Well, what movies have you guys seen? Have you guys seen
Wait,
Godzilla?
in Tenet, do they have like a
Yeah.
sex scene in Tenet?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering how they would do that, where it's like fucking like stuff the jizz back into the dick.
Yeah, that's how it would go
That's
essentially.
how it would go. Yeah.
That would be a good movie.
That would not be a good movie.
That would be no, that would be like fucking that would be the new meta of movie making. I feel like it would be like when Chicken Kiev became a thing, where they're like, "Oh yeah, we gotta stuff everything into chicken." That would be the new one.
I disagree.
It won't
I don't
matter
know what else
because
there is to say.
once it becomes the meta, the disagreement would make it even stronger and even more impactful in culture.
Well,
Are you
you
are you
could,
guys looking forward to other movies like Godzilla versus King Kong?
No,
I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I haven't caught up in my Godzilla run yet.
I think you
'Cause-
just need to watch the one before it, which is Godzilla King of Monsters, right?
Yeah, I
yeah, I
haven't
mean,
seen
how
it
much?
yet because I was
Yeah,
watching them from the very beginning.
That one was good. I watched it.
how much canon do you actually really need for the storytelling?
Well,
No, I'm not doing it for the canon though.
there's
I'm just
also the King Kong movie. That was the prequel to Godzilla vs King Kong.
Monster cinematic universe.
Well, for one, they had to increase the size of King Kong, and they also
Yeah,
have to shrink Godzilla
because
down.
because they had to equalize the weight classes. You know, fucking
Yeah.
Godzilla had
they
to
did.
lose 100 pounds. Kong had to gain 100 pounds. No one's fighting in their
100
prime.
pounds.
No
100
one's
pounds would
fighting
mean
in their
nothing
prime.
for them.
And
No, yeah.
in the trailer, Kong even has the Thor
An
hammer,
axe.
an
I thought it was an
axe.
axe. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I saw
So-
a picture of it.
Oh, you haven't seen the trailer?
No.
It's pretty hype. It's like kind of
Jason's
like a
thing is
UFC
not
fight.
watching trailers.
Oh,
too
Not
much
not for
information.
movies that I know I'll watch.
oh, I see. I see. It's like a UFC fight. They try to sell it like pay-per-view kind of thing, like
Yeah.
Sunday WrestleMania.
I mean, at least for the size thing, they explained it in the last Kong movie that they said he was still like
teenager.
he was still growing. Yeah, he was still like adolescent.
How do you explain? What didn't they shrink down Godzilla?
No, I
No,
was
for
just
Kong was still young, so he's still growing.
I was just joking about Godzilla being shrunk. He
I
might
see.
be
I see.
he might be the right size.
I see.
Would you? Isn't this just a metaphor for Japan versus USA then?
Well, they've done a Godzilla versus Kong movie before.
They have one.
Yeah, it
Why
was
would
like in
you don't need
the
a metaphor for
50s or
Japan.
60s.
You don't need a metaphor for Japan versus USA. You already have World War II. you don't need Godzilla and King Kong.
So based on that theory, you think Kong's gonna win again? Because US won.
I think it's
I don't
gonna
know,
be more of a
maybe.
draw. Usually for
Um,
this kind of stuff where it's like one big franchise against another, it usually has to end in some sort of draw like situation.
Did you think Alien vs Predator was a draw? Because I felt like Predator won that one.
I really don't remember the movie.
Did you feel like Freddy versus Jason was a draw? Because Jason
Yeah,
kind
that
of
one
won that
was.
one.
be money laying.
No,
it
that one was
down.
a draw. Because like at the end, even though it's like the decapitated head of Freddy or whatever the hell it was, he's like gives like a wink. So it's like, oh, maybe he's in a dream or something. So that's how it kind of
Oh, is that what you
could
thought? I
be
thought they just
a
did a
draw.
wink, as in it was just a nod to the audience, like "got you" kind of thing. I don't know. What other?
That's how I
like,
think they justified as a draw. It's like, oh no,
okay,
it seems like he won, but at the last seconds, like, oh, maybe he didn't.
We
what
need
other
someone to
versus
look into
movie out
this.
there?
We need someone to study the versus movies, the Freddy versus
Yeah.
Jason,
What's
Godzilla
what's
versus
the
King Kong. I want
okay?
them to make
Batman,
like a new PhD program for this.
Batman v Superman. Do you think that was a draw? Because Batman kind of had Superman
You
on the
think that
ground.
was a draw? He's like laying shade on you, like, oh yeah, you think they all have to be fucking draws? Tell me
That
if that's
was
a
a
draw.
draw,
Is that
'cause
a draw? Is that a
they
draw?
they
Boom,
came to an
boom, boom.
agreement at the end, and
All
based
right.
on
The
the
end.
comics too.
In the
It's
end,
like,
Superman did die. Though.
but that
Yeah,
wasn't as a result of Batman.
it wasn't a result directly a result of Batman. But he did die. I would count that as a win on Batman's side.
Drop the mic. Just
Even though it's indirect of the actual versus Batman part.
Yeah, that's right. I think in the Dark Knight, in the original Dark Knight comic books, and in the animated movie, Batman did beat Superman, and he let Superman know, like, you remember this, that I beat you, and then Batman was the one who died because he had a heart attack. Have you seen it?
what?
Overall,
You had a
yes.
heart attack.
I had because it takes place in the future, so it's old Batman, like
Oh,
really
Batman,
old.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of the main reasons why he won is because Superman had to like take down a nuke or something, so he got hit by a nuke before it, and then Batman had a
But
more
the
impressive
sun,
suit than the movie because it was hooked up to the city grid, so he had the power of a actual city
Well,
in his suit rather than this crappy movie where he just has a metal suit which isn't even powered because he
Well, in
was
the
like,
animated one, it was even better because Batman hired Green Lantern to shoot kryptonite into
yeah, that happened
Superman,
too.
and
That
he
was from
also
the
he
comics.
made it an aerosol. It wasn't like a rock. He made the rock into a powder, like kryptonite into a powder. So
Yeah,
he
so he
shot
breathes
it,
it
and it's
in.
like a yeah. So Superman breathed into it, so then he can get rid of the kryptonite.
Yep.
It was pretty epic. And then Batman just punches Superman till he submits.
Doesn't really sound like Batman's victory. It just sounds like Kryptonite's victory.
No,
Kryptonite is the
he's
real
the
hero.
kryptonite. I mean, there's like realist. No, I shouldn't say realistically because it's a comic book. But if a Batman type character in real life were to fight a alien like Superman with all those powers, there's absolutely no way he could win. It's
What
just like
if
someone that's
his
basically immortal.
what if his suit was powered by not just one city, but two cities and a couple
No,
towns?
even with the city and everything, it wouldn't be able to.
All right.
Freaking Superman could destroy planets.
All
So
right,
it's
forget Batman. All right. Superman can destroy planets, but Kryptonite can destroy Superman. Therefore, Kryptonite is the most powerful thing ever. Ergo, Kryptonite can also, by proxy, destroy planets and everything.
So
Kryptonite is king. Let's just bow down to our
well,
new overlord, this
kryptonite
rock.
is well. It's interesting because because the idea is that like Superman's like a regular human being on his planet because
I remember that. Yeah,
but because of like the
the
planet
sun.
that the sun, he's like super. So I wonder like if that's us, that would be like us for us. Like if we were to visit another planet, we become superhuman beings because
You fight
we have different
Superman.
sun.
You give him you give him the location where the sun is like super weak or some shit. He gets there. You just fold him with like one punch.
I don't know if any of you have seen John Carter. It was a huge flop of a movie. But it's basically about a guy that goes to Mars, and then because of the difference in gravity, he's actually like basically super powered there compared to the Martians.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah,
kind of
kind of the
deal.
same concept.
It's the same
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
deal in Expanse too. The guys from Earth and Mars can just wreck the Belters that never grew up under the gravity of a planet. So then you
Yeah,
got
that's interesting.
yeah.
So
So
in a
then
physical way, yes, that would happen, I guess.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like fucking yeah, you can defeat Superman like that. It's directly from the sun. Then yeah, just put him.
Yeah, well, in Superman's case, he's basically solar powered, so it's from
Yeah.
the sun and not the gravity or whatever.
Yes, it's different, but it's the same thing. Just Batman. All he had to do was switch up the location of the fight, and he can have it in the bag
That's true.
and have space
They'd have
travel.
to go to another galaxy, though.
Yeah, already developed. Well, you just have to go to another solar system. It sounds like, doesn't it? If it's
Oh
just by
yeah,
the
yeah, that's
sun.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have to go
wrong word.
that far.
I don't know what other good movies are coming out. I know it's not a movie, but WandaVision is a show that's out now.
I don't get
I
what the
haven't
fuck's
seen
going
it,
on with
but
that.
I don't know. It seems like a weird concept to me.
Did I
I know
start
it's
it?
gonna make bank, but sorry, what?
Should I start it? I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Oh, okay. Because Zinzin told me it wasn't good, so I didn't.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it. I just heard it wasn't good.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
I
I
heard
haven't seen
it was like episodes are like 20 minutes, so it's like
I
not
was like,
even much.
yeah, it's like shorts basically. Because now there's no commercials, so that is like a short.
But it's supposed to be like a comedy or something.
Sitcom?
I don't know.
I thought it had like the audience, studio audience laughter.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Yeah.
like a play on those old sitcom type shows. I think it has
Do you
that
guys miss
style at
those?
least.
The studio laughter? Because Big Bang is the last TV series to have it. Like
Was that
it's-
actually studio or is that just canned?
or whatever. But that type of laughter that you would have is not in a lot of TV shows anymore, right?
I
Like Modern
think
Family does have it.
it would take a very specific show where it's okay, because more shows nowadays they seem to be more kind of advanced. That's not the right word for it, but where they don't want to take you away from the show itself, because like having laughter kind of implies like, oh yeah, there's people watching. And
I
you're
feel
one of the
like
people.
in the 90s, every show had it. All the popular ones, like Friends had it. How I Met Your Mother had it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
that
like
was
a
the norm back
sitcom
then.
era. I
Yeah,
don't
and
think
now today's sitcom we don't have it. Like if you watch
Yeah,
like
things change.
Schitt's Creek doesn't have it. I don't know.
A lot of
Modern
shows don't
Family.
have it anymore.
Yeah,
A lot of
most shows
comedies.
don't have it.
would you want one? Maybe it's people have grown out of them.
I kind of like it. I think it tells you like when their
When to
jokes are.
laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laugh now. Clap now.
Have you seen
Oh,
those clips of like Big Bang or something where they take out the laughter and it's just really awkward? They like tell a
No.
joke and then it's just like all of them are just standing there for a few seconds, so like no one's making any noise or comments, and then they go back to talking.
So it would be like exactly like our show multiple times.
Yeah, except with more pauses in between stupid stuff or jokes, as they would call them. I don't know, I was never really a fan of Big Bang, anyways.
well, I wasn't thinking Big Bang. I was just thinking about the laughter itself.
So
Did it
you
Yeah,
bother
want
you?
no, I don't, they just made it. They if it's a sitcom show with a laugh track, then they're gonna make it
Yeah.
for the laugh track and shit. If
yeah,
it's
it's just something they keep in mind when they're making it. But it's like for those shows, I'm perfectly fine with it. The ones that were made with it, like Friends or Seinfeld and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. But
Well, then
if they
it's not
tried
just
to do it
laughter
for
too.
new shows where they don't have it, I think that would be really weird.
Like they also have the howling. You know, when the characters are kissing, they also have the
Yeah,
howling and stuff.
audience
Like
reactions
can
of
you
any
imagine
sort.
like you have a scene where they're having sex and you just have the howling? Like, yeah.
I've seen, you know what, as the pinnacle of this, I've seen porn with a laugh track on it.
Is it a
What?
parody then?
It was no, it wasn't a parody of anything. It was
What?
just the dude wanted to try fitting in a laugh track during like the fuck scenes.
That
Wait, is
sounds
this
stupid.
amateur? Is this
Liter
amateur?
well, it's
He like
not
edited his own.
really just a fucking amateur doing it. It was like at least I think it was a real like porn director producer. I felt
Right.
like they just wanted to do. They're like, oh, I'm gonna try something new, and this is what they came up with.
Wait, they had laugh
That
track
sounds
during the
stupid.
sex?
Yeah, during the sex.
Was funny stuff actually happening?
No, there's well, like marginally. I mean, like they're just plowing each other, and maybe they like switch to a new position, and then
Oh, yeah,
laugh
that's
track.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's yeah,
What?
and then okay, but the thing is like okay, so like what are you supposed to? Are you supposed to laugh? Are you supposed to jerk off? Are you supposed to jerk off as you
It's just a
laugh?
dupe. Yeah, it's both. It's implied.
It was one of those things where like when McDonald's tried to make pizza or some shit, like it was just one of those things where everybody's spitballing, and then they didn't know how bad an idea it was until after the pizza was made, after the porn had the laugh track, and people were like confused as they're like tugging themselves.
Speaking of porn, then, um, one thing I don't like is when they have like music and stuff in it. I don't know if anyone else has that same feeling.
You are a purist. All the old
It's
ones had
yeah, it's
music.
just something that like takes you out of it, you know?
Oh, like the old with the jazz music with the saxophone. The
Yeah,
Oh,
near
the
near
basically.
near
generic
near near
porn,
near
the
near.
generic porno music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saxophone, right? I think that's the classic.
No, it doesn't have to be a saxophone. It's just a really
So, you know, just the
porno
generic like bound chicka
song.
wow wow thing too and stuff like that.
Bound
This
chicka wow wow.
you've
Yeah.
never seen porn before.
Not with the music, I guess. Not with the.
Yeah, no shit. There is no music that actually goes like bow chicken wow. Like
If there isn't, we should use that as an intro song.
no, that would be worse than the laugh track in
Oh, it
the
definitely would. We might as well put a
you know
laugh
what?
track in our podcast then.
I retract what I say. The laugh track is genius.
To add to the
Laugh track,
podcast?
no, to the porno.
Oh, okay.
Do you think they still use it for radio? Do people who DJ use laugh tracks?
Radio is barely alive now. Forget like laugh tracks for the radio. Even the
Oh, do
radio
you think
itself
radio's
is
fairly
obsolete.
alive because people are not commuting to work?
Well, no, I just think just because of people like us, like any fucking
Yeah, we use like
moron,
Spotify and stuff like that.
any moron with a mic could just do this thing. I think people just would rather listen to like if they were like Radioheads before, they probably like listen to podcasts instead.
Yeah, I actually did like listening because I used to listen to internet radio, which are people would playlist and then it's just like radio, but it's kind of like podcasts and radio where they'll talk some stuff and then they'll play some songs and stuff. But
Yeah.
a lot of these guys who are doing it were like college students, so they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just done this question." He'll say some blurb and it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna play another couple of songs and I'm just gonna do my homework."
Yeah.
And
But
then
I feel like radio was just kind of on because there's nothing else to do, and there was nothing else you could do at that time.
yeah,
And now, like, like it was just like how back then before it was the TV, you hear those stories where like the family would gather around the one radio in the living
yeah,
room in like the Western countries, and then they were like it was like be like a family event to listen to the news or some shit, or even like
Radio shows.
going to the movie theater, but it was like for news, like they would go watch the newsreels during World War II in a theater. Well, once you could get that shit streamed into your house, no one does that shit anymore. So
but you feel
once,
like things are circular though, right? Like for example, we were talking about network TV, and then now we have streaming. No one has TV
yeah,
networks,
and
but
then
then
going
the
back to
streaming is becoming network. So
yeah.
eventually, we're gonna get back to the point where we're going to the theaters to watch
You
the
know,
news.
you know what I could see? I could see live screenings of podcasts. They do that for like the big podcast people. They do like live shows,
Yeah, it's true.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Rooster Teeth does it, and they they sound really fun to be
right?
honest.
And then you could buy tickets to the show where they just
Yeah,
do fucking podcast episodes in
Yeah.
live action.
One day, if we get big enough, we could do live shows.
Yeah, you fly out all these places. Oh, everybody! And then they'll all say, "Holy fuck, yeah, these guys, they're made for like fucking radio. You should never see
No
their
refunds.
faces."
Absolutely no refunds.
But no, what was it like? I don't know. Yeah, radio's dead. Podcasting is the new radio, for better or worse.
I think
Uh,
it's hard to say because
and after
podcast
podcasting
there's just
will
too
come for
much. There's,
theater too, because no one instead of buying tickets to a theater play, you're gonna buy tickets to watch a bunch of assholes talk to get on
To
stage.
talk about movies.
I'm finding podcasts. They're kind of a mix of radio and news because some people like certain podcasts are like highly produced and almost sounds like a documentary or almost
Oh
like a
yeah,
news.
you can tell they put a lot of work into it.
Like economists, I think they're like that. The Economist, sorry. The
Yeah,
Economist is
all the
very
news shows. Well, it's easy for the news because this is not really a big departure from what they did before on the radio. So
right.
they almost use just the same fucking sound, like the canned sound, like jingles
Yeah,
when they are about to play stuff.
that
So I mean,
right.
like all that shit is the same, but like the actual podcasters that weren't like a fucking news agency before, just like random guys like us, but they put in so much like production work into this shit, right? Like got intros, outros, they got fucking background music, take up most of the like before they actually plan their shows and then they actually come out like what an hours worth of recording would be like a week's worth of planning. Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. At some point I'm like, man, you should be more like us, just like complete zero planning.
Yeah.
Um just going on
All that
here.
planning sounds like a nightmare.
It's yeah, it's like why even what's the joy in living
Well,
if there's no scuba, then what was this all for? Right?
I think it depends on the listener because some listeners I do have friends who enjoy
A
more
highbrow
high
podcast.
higher produced, yeah. And for me personally, I kind of do like as a background sound or kind of like listening in on a conversation or eavesdropping kind of style.
The lowbrow stuff, like us.
Yeah,
you,
like us, exactly, exactly.
We're
you won't ever
lowbrow.
listen. You won't ever listen to your own product.
What I do, I listened to the one that last time you said I wouldn't listen to. The
Oh
one I
shit! Which
wasn't
one
on.
was that?
You, I don't know. I remember you said like, "Oh, Brian will never listen to this one," and I totally listened to that one.
Oh man.
That was the one I listened to. But yeah, I don't listen to too many of the ones that I'm on, I guess.
Yeah, that would make sense. I feel like Yeah, I wonder what an episode would be like without me on it. I want to listen to this, except not this has never
We
happened
would need
yet.
Hassan because two people would be tough.
Well, Hassan and I were supposed to have a movie or whatever podcast at some point, and I'm going to call him out on this podcast because every time I say I'm available, but he has to let me know, and he never responds to me.
Oh,
Do you feel
drop the
like this is
gloves.
that relationship where like you're the one reaching all the time and he's the guy's just not calling you back? It's almost like he's lost interest.
Yeah, he's also
Yes,
cheating on you because he is doing so many two-man shows with every other person.
that son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was on that Wheel of Time episode. And you weren't on there. Like, it's not like he doesn't want to record. He does. It's just not with
Wait, did you
you.
guys do the Wheel Time episode already? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
we did Wheel of Time.
Oh, I listened to that too.
I actually don't remember.
Yeah, Hassan was on there. He was pretty good. He talked about some characters and the author, two authors.
Well,
I
you
know,
see,
you know,
one of
you
the
know what?
things is that Hassan did that because Zinzin's more on the ball about scheduling stuff like podcasts, where he actually sends like those requests like, "Hey, are we doing this or when's everyone available?" and stuff like that. But because I've had this discussion with Hassan so many times of like, "Hey, we should still do that episode. Just let me know when you are available." And then he's like, "Yeah, okay, sure." And he never does. And I don't check up
You
on
know,
it.
it'd be awesome. Or you know what you need to do? You need to ask Zinzin to ask Hassan for you.
Fuck.
No,
So Hassan thinks that it's like, oh, Zinzin wants to be on the show. Okay, I'll be on.
Yeah, okay, I'll ask
And
him
then
for
you,
you.
and then when you're about to record, you'd be like, oh, Zinzin's out, but I'm here. We should record.
he just
then you put
immediately
him
goes
on the spot.
offline.
Yeah. Hey Hassan, yeah, remember Jason? Yeah, he thinks you're real cute. He wants you to do a show with him. But he's too shy to ask you.
This is like the blind date stuff.
Yo, did he
Very
say
like-
anything about me yet?
Yeah,
Uh,
let's fucking pester him.
I hope he listens to this. He probably won't, though.
He won't. He doesn't care. He's too busy
Have
recording other shows.
How
you guys-
surprised would you be if he actually was on a different podcast?
That'd be insane. I'd be like, oh fuck, who is it? Like, tell him to fucking like.
Tell us what it is.
Well, yeah, that
I'd listen
first.
to it.
And then after that, I'd be like, well, tell them to fucking like, the word escapes me right now. Basically, promote us. Promote
Oh,
us
yeah, sure.
shamelessly.
Yeah.
Shout
Plugs.
out?
Yeah, plug us. Just fucking.
Plugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plug us out.
Yeah. Just fucking every single plug. Just be about us.
Yeah.
So
Plus-
wait, Hassan's on another show too?
No, he's not.
That's just what we're saying.
Oh, that's what
You're getting
okay.
reality mixed up now.
I'm mixing up reality.
This is like
Well,
fucking
I'm just
vanilla
game on.
sky.
I'm just game to set up a blind podcast date with Jason and Sam.
Yeah, okay. Maybe you could get him to go on then. Because I'm too deep now that I can't just suddenly keep asking him if he
like,
wants to do that episode.
Why?
better?
I just don't get why.
No.
It's totally just like, hey, when you good for this Thursday to record?
So say Zinzin trick Hassan to coming on to this podcast, right? And Jason, do you feel like would you pretend like you were tricked too, so that Hassan doesn't feel like he was like 2v1, or would you also feel like you were in on it and you would have to apologize to Hassan and then record?
Well,
How would you go about?
It depends on Hassan's reaction. Because if he's like, "Oh, okay, that's fine, let's still record," then I'd be cool with it. Play it cool. But if he says no, then well, actually, same situation. I could still play it cool, like I didn't know. 'Cause-
Okay, so you wouldn't pretend like, oh, I was caught off guard too, and try to make him feel
Jesus
like
Christ.
it's in the love.
yeah, that seems like no payout,
You
or
know,
it's more effort than it's worth.
like I mentioned this many. I don't know if I mentioned. I think I mentioned this many times where like, I don't watch shows in order, and sometimes I don't watch shows in
Yes, we
completeness.
know. It's their defining feature.
So like there's a TV series I enjoy called Person of Interest, but it's like a really long going season, and each season's about 24 episodes. Each episode's about an hour, and there's 5 seasons. And so I kind of pick and choose episodes. I just read the synopsis, and then if it's part of like the main arc, I'll watch it and stuff like that. Or if people highly rate, I'll watch it. And so there's a lot of episodes I don't watch, and I don't watch in order. So one of my friend was telling me his favorite episode, and he related to like Naruto, and I just pretend I knew because I told him like, oh yeah, I'm on season 4 or something like that.
Wait, a person of interest episode
Yeah.
was like Naruto.
Well, no, he was
No,
talking about a villain that was reminds him of Orochimaru,
Oh,
and
okay.
I just had to pretend I knew exactly what he was saying, and the whole time I just nodded, and then afterwards I watched the episode, then I came back to him to what do you call talk to him about the episode again because I had stuff to say.
And did you guys talk about, or was it like why we already
We
talked
talk
about
about this again. No, I just kind of brought it casually, just like, oh yeah, remember that episode you talked about? And I just because before I was just me listening. I'm like, oh yeah, that car is cool. I just agreed to everything he said. Then I just added my points afterwards,
What
like
the fuck?
a week later.
What the fuck is this?
So that's what I do too. Like sometimes they'll talk about something, I'll hear it, get their point, and then a week later I'll add my points when I'm prepared.
I feel like wait, you've done that? Have you done that for our podcast as well?
I think so. I think I
Yeah,
did.
just be like, oh, remember we were talking about this last week? Well, I got more shit to talk about this time.
After studying up.
After watching the source material. Yeah, I'm good now.
That would be fucked up because I ask you guys all the time, like, hey, is there any topics you guys want to know beforehand? And then if you say no, and then when we talk about something you don't know about it, you gotta catch up for it, and then the next week. Oh Jesus Christ!
Nah, it's mostly movies. It's like, actually, that's also an embarrassing moment. Sometimes I'll ask my friend, like, one movie he's excited about, he'll tell me, and they don't stick to my mind, and then I'll read about that movie later, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this movie, and I sent it to him, like, oh, I think you'll really like this movie. And he's like, yeah, I do really like it. I told you last time.
Yeah.
Oh, I was right.
Say okay, thanks, asshole. Now I know that you don't fucking listen at all.
Well, now I know it's a good movie. Now I'm more like for me, if, when someone tells me you should watch this movie, sometimes I need to hear from multiple sources before I watch it because then I'll like know it's a good movie. If I hear from one source, it's hard to know if it's actually a really good movie. You know what I mean?
What
Yeah,
if it's
that's
a
like
reliable
normal.
source though? Like someone, like a friend of yours that has almost the exact same tastes as you in movies. Wouldn't you
Uh,
put more weight on their opinion?
yeah, I would put weight, but like he also likes movies that sometimes are just very particular to him. Like his taste is not the same as my taste, but if I heard it from him and then I read a movie review that said this movie was good, then I'm more likely to watch it because now I have two sources telling me it's good. But if it's just him, I may not know if it's a movie that he likes or a movie that was good and that I would like as well. It's hard to know.
What if a friend of yours that has similar taste in movies as you recommends
Yeah.
a movie, but the rating for it is really bad?
I don't think ratings matters to me too much. I would probably watch it, yeah. I think for me it's mostly availability. Like if a movie if I knew this movie was good and I heard it was good from my friends and it's on Netflix, I would probably watch it because it's easy. But if I need to like go Pirate Bay or something, then it might take me some time before I consider it. Like I need more like incentive, or not
Yeah,
incentive. I just
that's
need more like people telling me it's good or you need to watch this kind of thing, and then I'm like, okay, I'll watch it.
yeah, man. That's a widespread thing. It's you'll be glad to know that it's not only you that does that. The convenience of it, if it's easy to fucking watch.
Yeah,
that's
convenience.
true.
I think convenience is the big one. If it's just on your doorstep, you're like, oh, okay, sure, I'll watch it. But if it's like if you have to put the effort in, then I might consider doing something else.
I don't know if I've asked this question before, but how many streaming services do you subscribe to?
I pay for one and I'm subscribed to two. Does that help you?
Is that from like sharing? Like you share an account or
Yeah,
something?
sharing. Yeah, sharing.
Yeah, sure.
No, that's what it is. Which ones are so Netflix? I'm assuming is one of them.
Yeah.
Would the other
And
be either?
I just subscribed to my
Amazon or
friend's
Disney?
Plex. It's the other.
Oh, Plex.
Yeah.
How much stuff does he have on there?
Good amount. He can get anything really, which is good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a good amount. Sometimes I watch old Chinese movies and stuff. He puts like old Chinese, like Stephen Chow movies, so I'll watch those. I real my Chinese, like my girlfriend keeps telling me like, don't learn that, don't say that, because every time I watch Stephen Chow movie, I just pick up these like one-liners. But they're not very good one-liners. Good in a sense of conversation in Chinese, right?
What? They're not like swears or anything?
Yeah, they're usually swears or
Wouldn't
like
you?
profanity and stuff.
But you speak it yourself. Wouldn't you know that you're not supposed to say that in like fucking
I
to like
speak
your grandma or
limited.
something?
Yeah, I would never say anything like that. But I speak Chinese in a very limited sense. You know,
I
like they're not
know. I know
Would
like
you
what you mean.
consider yourself fluent? Because I
not
myself, I would not say I'm fluent in. Well, I speak
like
Cantonese, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent. Not
like
anymore.
the thing I think it's interesting is like because my parents came here as immigrants, so they didn't know English and school like English for me was all learned by myself and like TVs and my friends, right?
Yep.
So like when I have like complex ideas that I want to express to my parents, I
You
have
won't
no
be able to say
ability
it.
to. Yeah, I won't be able to say it. So like when I talk to my coworkers who are very tight knit with their parents, he's like, "Oh yeah, I talk to my parents about everything like sex or religion and things like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I tell my parents how my day was, but that's as far as I go. Because anything
Yeah,
past that, I have no
Yeah.
vocabulary to express it."
yeah.
And
If
Yeah, I'm
they
you're
kind of in the same boat.
yo,
and
if
I'm
you were
like,
fluent, you wouldn't be talking to your parents about sex anyways.
but what I mean is I don't have the ability to. And it's like for some people it's really weird, right? That you don't talk to your parents about things. It's like I do want to talk to them. I just don't have the tools to, right?
I
So
Well,
don't
I think
even
this is
that's
really want to
the
talk to him about that kind of stuff.
this is the universal ABC CBC's experience.
mm-hmm.
So it's actually it's very more well known than you actually think. Most of the Chinese,
Yeah,
uh,
I think it's I never really thought about it in deeply. Like I agree, like all my friends who are also Chinese born Canadians who are similar to my situation have the same problem. So like I get that it's not a unique experience for me. I think I just never really thought of it in deep where not everyone has that experience. Like there are people who are they talk to their parents and seek guidance from them for these situations or they talk to them about politics and stuff, right? Whereas my
mm,
parents I don't even know what Democrat or Republican in Chinese would be, right? Like
Yeah, the closest my parents and me get to politics is just like if my dad asks, like, "Hey, do you like Trump?" or something like that, and that's as close as it gets.
you say the wrong answer, your dad's just silent, slams his chopsticks on the table, gets up and leaves.
because like I hear some families they like it's like I don't speak to my dad anymore because I'm a Republican and he's a Democrat kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, it's
Like
stupid.
like for my family, it's like we would never have that situation because like I could be Christian and my parents wouldn't even know about it because I couldn't even express to them what Chinese Christian is. Like I wouldn't be able to say Christian Chinese, so they wouldn't even know, right?
Well, I guess I could say that if you do have those conversations with your parents and they disagree about it, I don't know too much Chinese people that will be in that situation where it's like, yeah, we don't talk at Thanksgiving or Chinese New Year because we have completely different opinions. I think they're less anal about that. Generalizing, there might be some few that are fucking insane about that. But
Yeah. Well, like,
it's like that
mhm.
with my mom on some things where she just takes like the most insane take, and I tell her like this is an insane take. I mean,
Well,
and
you did tell me you did say that your mom is she gets all her conspiracy theories from
yeah, 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 yeah,
WeChat,
yeah,
right?
yeah. She's much better nowadays, because I think I've just worn her down via trolling, other tactics, such as just saying telling her she's insane
You
and this is
troll your mom.
insane. But yeah, she's better at that. But yeah, me and my dad are pretty much aligned on stuff, so that's why I wouldn't be able to give any anecdotal data points on that shit.
So, like, don't you think it's weird that your friends who are CBC can't talk to their parents the same way you could talk to your parents? Like, you guys have a better
No,
bond
because
than we do.
I can see I well like I'm not that far removed. I am I'm not born here, but I'm pretty much English is the first language, so I know all that shit. But it's just the difference is I just fucking went I just went balls to the wall to learn all that stuff.
Hmm.
So it is some stuff that is like, so I can see I'm not like, oh fucking you guys are weird, you can't talk to your friends. No, I know I understand completely that feeling. That, you know, like when I was really young, I had trouble fucking t trying to convey shit, right?
Yeah.
And I still sometimes do. I still sometimes do. But I think I chalk that up mostly just talking to parents sort of deal. Most of the political stuff I can at least talk about it.
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
also my parents, well, my dad, he speak English pretty decently, but it's always weird to fucking talk to your parents. I feel like it's always weird to talk to your parents in English about stuff. I feel like it's much more like fucking natural to talk about it to them in Chinese,
Yeah, you're right. Right. Yeah,
especially
No,
about like
especially
important
since
stuff.
because I feel like
well,
fluency, if you can talk about law, science, and politics in
Yeah,
that
first,
language,
yeah, the first
those that's
criteria
like
is if they can
highest.
understand it. So if you can't say it in Chinese, then you're shit out of luck. You gotta tell them in English because no matter what, they gotta understand what the fuck you're talking about, right?
which is what kind of sucks because I don't think I have too much in common with my parents. So talking to them about stuff other than like just superficial topics like, oh, the weather or, you know,
Do you
other
think
family members or something like that, then it's
You know
like
what?
it's
You
not
know
very
what? It's
deep.
even there's another thing that I know that's funny. There are some ways that you talk, especially, and you'll notice this, especially a lot of CBC, ABCs growing up here. You'll notice this that there's some words and there's some phrasings that only was developed basically inside your family. And then when you go and talk to someone else about some whatever, and you say this phrase that you and your parents always talk about or whatever, right? It's not second nature, and they just might be like, "What? What'd you just say? Like, what are you talking about?"
sometimes they cross over though, because when I was a kid and I played badminton, I called the birdie. I just like in English we called it the birdie, right? The
Yeah,
shuttlecock.
yeah.
And I just called it Jai in Chinese, right? But that's not what it's called, right? And my mom didn't know, but then she understood what I meant, right?
Yeah,
And then her friend has kids now, and she asked my mom like, my kid's playing badminton. They call something Jai. What do you think that means? And she's like, oh, I know exactly what you mean because my kid did that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
some things do translate over.
So, well, yeah, that is by pure coincidence. Most of the
That's
time,
by
it's
pure
It's like an
coincidence. Yes.
interpretation.
most of the times it's literally just your parents just dumbing themselves down to your fucking level. To be like, yeah, oh, my kid calls it that, and fucking he doesn't know any better. So yeah, that's a thing, you know. That's a thing now.
Well,
Yeah, that
if
happens
you
more so these days where it's like I don't know how to say a particular title, for example, like someone's job in Chinese, so I'd have to either say it in English and hope they know what it means, or I'd have to try to describe what it is, and then they'd have to be like, "Oh, it's this." So
like, did
it
we talk
gets
about this?
rough.
Because like, if you talk to someone who's not a native English speaker and they're speaking broken English, do you talk back to them in broken English to show them that, hey, I'm relating to you to help you understand, or do you speak as clear as possible and not speak in broken grammar or using like
I I don't speak
wrong
in
words?
broken grammar, but I might use simpler words because
Do you
I don't
even try
want
to
them.
sound like them too?
I would hope not, but I can't say for sure because some of that's just like subconsciously you might do it, but I don't know for
Hmm.
sure if I do that or not. But I think the best thing to do was not to speak in a broken language to the other person, just because that's not going to be helpful for them to learn.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like it's offensive, but fair enough.
Well, it might be offensive too. Maybe they'll be
Hmm.
offended by it.
Okay, so I'm curious. You guys, okay, so if you
Yeah.
ever get into a heated argument with your parents, what does that conversation sound like? Is it just all in Chinese and you just blubber out and whatever in English?
Uh.
I
Yeah.
might use English swear words, but
Or
most of
they're
it would be
just,
in Chinese.
Oh, I
or
don't
would
think I
they
ever
would just
sweared in my
they would
in front of
yell
my
at you?
family.
No, I mean like they would yell
Well,
at you.
not
Like
full on like
how would you
by
talk? How
swear
would you
words. I don't mean
respond?
like F word and stuff like that, but just like to vent frustration, I might just say like more so under my breath, like you know, oh my gods and stuff like
But
that.
like, how would
God
you?
damn it.
Yeah.
They're having like a fucking serious and maybe heated, maybe not heated conversation with you. How would that even go? How would you guys even respond? Would it be mostly in just broken
Uh,
English and Chinese?
I feel like it's no. I think I speak in Chinese, and I think I raise my voice. That's when it's heated, and
Yeah.
more sarcasm, or you'll say things that are kind of like out there, like unrealistic kind of thing.
Yeah, I think mine would also be more so in Chinese, but I think it kind of also depends on what the argument is about. Because if there's like, I don't know, stuff in that's like English terms that I don't know in Chinese, or there might not even be a Chinese word for it, then some of it might veer towards English in that sense.
Yeah, man. Because that's what I imagine. If you guys like, if you guys have to talk about fucking like your career or some shit, and like fucking, would you be able to even? Do you even know how to say your job in Chinese right now? And
No,
what you
well, I
want to
just say
be?
engineering. Like I use very broad terms, but the thing is, that's like because all they'll ask you is like, how's school? Great. And when you're working, how's work? Good. What do you do? Engineering.
Yeah,
But
same.
it's like
It's
it's
very surface
very
level stuff.
yeah, it's very one-worded answer. It's like we don't go into details. Like, what do you do? I work with computers. All right, type on
Yeah,
computer. That's
when I
about
did
it. Like,
IT stuff, that's all they knew. It's like if their friends or something would ask what I do, then my parent or ask them what I do, then they would usually just say like, "Oh, he's in computers" or something like
like
that. That's
Computer.
about
my
it.
mom. My mom is great because she embellishes a lot. So when she talks to her friends, she'll just say all these crazy things of what I do. But most of it is like probably not what I actually do. But
Yeah, fucking
I
he
just like
designs rockets that go into space and
yeah,
shit.
and I'm like, yeah, sure, Mom, you can tell your friend. Like she'll just say stuff, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, well, whatever. But it's not. I can't correct her because I don't know. I don't know enough to correct her.
Yeah,
So,
truthfully, I don't even know how to. I don't know how to say like fucking GIS or whatever in Chinese either.
well, GIS is an acronym, so you would have to break
Ah,
it down.
your fucking job. They're like, hey, describe what you fucking. Okay, describing I can do it, but like, there is like a GIS. I think is also Chinese. Maybe. No,
And like,
they should have a Chinese term for it.
well, I think
I don't know it.
GPS in Chinese, what's GPS? Don't they just call it
GPS is just
GPS?
GPS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're saying you're in the satellite positioning, you fucking design global positioning satellites.
Yeah.
Like
You would
you
just say
could say that in
GPS.
Chinese.
But like GIS, I think eventually once they know what GIS is, they'll just say GIS. It's kind of like
No,
GPS.
GIS is I think. But like if you're gonna describe it, if you're gonna
Right.
describe like, oh, I work fucking like maps and surveying and all that shit.
Yeah, well, they're gonna be lost as soon as you say surveying. like,
Yeah, well, I just imagine also it's like,
like English
oh,
people don't even know what surveying is. So like
It's
that's a
it's those
niche.
cases where it might be helpful to like show pictures. Just pull out
I
your
don't
phone and
know.
do Google search.
Even if you
Like I
show a
do
picture
stuff
of a
like this.
surveyor, I don't know if people even recognize it. They're like, who
Well, I
is
mean,
that?
like just a map or something, and like the type of maps you work with.
very
Mm,
curious. Okay, so let's just say if you pretend I am both of your parents simultaneously, how would you tell them in China if you let's just say you just got your current job and you're describing it to them, how would you describe it to them in in Cantonese?
I would just say it's an office job, and then it's in engineering. That's it.
Yeah, but like how would just say it in Cantonese? I want to see how you'd frame it.
Oh, I wouldn't even know what an office job is in Chinese.
There
I
you
would
go.
just say, I would say computer and engineering. I would say, do you know?
Computer 你知唔知啊？
do you know? And
Computer
工具
啊！
computer. Yeah, I think those are the key words. Like, I think the idea is if you're trying to express stuff, all you do is say keywords, almost like Trump. You just say words, yeah, and you repeat them a lot, right? Like
Yeah,
Trump
it's
doesn't
true
like
though.
China.
It's true.
He says China a lot. And even
China.
and freedom, and he'll say words like good and bad. Like he just repeats them, and that's what I would do. I just repeat really simple words.
Computer, computer.
So
Like
we
words I know they're not even in this century because I watched like old Chinese movies, so they're like these old century like hail the emperor. I know how to say that, but in most cases it never comes out.
Most cases,
Oh,
yeah.
hail the emperor.
But when the time comes, you'll be ready.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
be because those are all like fucking. Those are all like diluted and dumbed down too. So then you're gonna.
That's true. That's
He'd
true.
only be able to say like, "Oh yeah, like fucking Wu Huang 万岁万岁," and then after that, even if he said, "Okay, you can rise now," what are you gonna say?
Yeah, Mansoy. They don't say that. Is that not a thing?
They do say that, but then
Okay.
then what's app? It's like come to like an English speaking country only knowing how to say hello and be like, "Oh hello, oh hey, how's it going? Hello."
That's exactly.
Oh, this
how
guy's
it
good.
Are you lost? Hello. Do you need me to call someone? Hello. Can I see your identification, please? Hello.
Tears coming down your face.
And if it's an American cop, then it's like the next thing you say might get you a bullet. Hello.
I was
But
gonna say, we all know I'm kind of like mentally messed up. But one of the things that I don't even know why I do it exactly is I won't speak Chinese in public, basically, unless I'm with family. But even with like close friends that also speak Cantonese and they know I'm crap, regardless, I still won't speak it
is it
to
because
them.
you're embarrassed?
Yes, but even then, it's like I'll acknowledge I'm embarrassed. I know it's crap, but it's like even with close friends that I don't care if I'm embarrassed, I still won't really do it. Even at like I don't know, even at Chinese restaurants where like I know what the food is, I can say that perfectly fine and everything. I still generally won't do it. It's like a mental block.
I had that experience with my cousins in China. They would not speak English with me, even though they studied English. They're just afraid of saying things.
Yeah.
When I
They're
went to
afraid of taking
China,
that step.
I
Yeah,
met
but they told me a really funny joke because they said like in Chinese like let's say like a boulder's falling onto your friend, you would tell your friend look out, right?
Hmm.
But like he said like he told me like in Chinese you wouldn't say look out, right? Because it's just you just be looking, right? You wouldn't like you would say see some kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like be careful. So he said that translation was really funny that he thought of. I'm like, oh, that is very different.
Your family jokes exactly like you.
What do you mean? What's like explaining jokes is really terrible?
Yeah, it's like if you're ever gonna wait for a punchline, it's never showing up. The punchline always catfishes you when you tell a joke.
Oh, the punchline is part of me explaining it, probably.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Like the punchline is probably hidden within the joke. They'll be like,
You have
I'm
to
waiting
give
for
it,
the punch.
yeah. You start explaining the intricacies of the punchline and how you're getting to it.
Well, I was trying to tell Jason, do you remember that Bernie joke with the brick and the bird?
yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I
What
was trying
was
to tell that
It's
joke.
a different Bernie, not
Yeah, I was
Sanders.
trying to tell that joke, not Bernie Sanders, but like Bernie Burns. I was trying to tell that joke to a coworker, and it took so long that like once I delivered the punchline, she was like, "The long con."
That's actually a pretty good joke, though.
I thought it was a good joke. I thought it was super funny.
What joke was this? Say it.
All right, Jason, you deliver it. I'm not very
I'm not
good.
gonna say it. I barely
No,
remember
I want
it.
you. I want you to deliver. I want you to deliver. I want to experience what your coworker experienced. Again.
Oh, you want me to deliver it?
Yeah,
Or
deliver it.
Jason, sorry. Me,
Give it
okay.
to me.
All right. So, I think it's like three kids. Basically, kid A was talking to like kid A and B. They're playing outside in the park, and they found a bunch of bricks, and they were like, and one kid A is like, "Oh, I bet I could throw this higher than you," kind of thing. And kid B's like, "No, I think I'm stronger than you," kind of thing. So then what they did is they picked up the bricks. I think they found like sand or like a mud pile or whatever. So what they do is they toss it in the air, and whichever sinks deeper when it falls back down, then they can tell who's stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kid A grabs a brick, winds it up, tosses it as high as he can, and the brick falls, and I think it goes like 1 or 2 feet. And kid B, he grabs the brick, starts winding up, and then tosses it in the air, and then it falls, and then a little bit more than kid A, and then I think there's a third kid. Kid C comes and saw what they were doing, and he wanted to play, so he grabbed it and it's like, I can beat the both of you. Spins it super fast, and then tosses it in the air, and then the three kids look in the sky, waiting for the brick to fall, and they just keep looking and looking. And all right, so this brings up another story. So now we're on an airplane, right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Go
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so we're on an airplane, and this lady, she's boarding the plane, and on this plane it says specifically no parrots. And the lady thought that was a weird sign, and she happens to have like a bird with her, like it's like a
Parrot? Not parrot?
kind
Looks
of like a parrot. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
parrot bird, but like it's for medical reason why she has it, right? So
Okay.
she brought the bird with her, and she tried to like hide in her jacket and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so like the flight stewardess, she got her to the seat and set her down and stuff. And then she goes to the captain to see what the captain is doing. And then so now like everything's all settled, and then the plane takes off, right? And then captain's flying with the co-captain, and then captain's like, oh, I need to use the washroom. So he let the co-pilot flies, and he goes to the washroom. As he's walking, but he couldn't use the pilot's washroom. He had to use the regular washroom, so he had to walk across the plane.
Mm.
And then as he's walking, he like spotted the lady with the parrot, and noticed that, or noticed odd with the lady, and then noticed that there's a parrot, and then started complaining at her about it. And then so, anyways, the captain and the lady got in a scuffle about the parrot situation, and the captain got really angry at the lady, and grabbed the parrot, and then tosses it out of the plane. And then so the lady was mad at the captain, and happens to grab a cigar that the captain was hiding, and then toss that out of the plane, right? And then so now the parrot and the cigar is outside the plane, and then the captain's all angry and whatever, and he goes back to flying the plane back to the cockpit. And then as he's back in getting settled, he's flying the plane. He looks outside a window, and he sees something odd, and he sees a parrot, and he's like, oh, strange. And then what's more odd is what's in the parrot's mouth. And Zinzin, what do you think was in the parrot's mouth?
Oh, what was in the parrot's mouth?
The brick.
Okay.
Ta-tan.
Oh god, this was fucking awful. Oh Jesus.
So
Christ.
that actually is the joke in essence, yes.
Yeah.
But Brian, you still told it fairly well. But it doesn't match Bernie's, just because I think Bernie's a very charismatic person. So the way he tells it is much better.
Oh, he tells it so much better. Yeah. The way he tells it, like enthusiasm, he has all this. But that's
it flows better too.
It flows better, yeah.
But that was
anyways,
good. That's good. You
that was
had all
good.
all the main bits.
Yeah. It was the long con there.
Man, we should
told
have
this
ended
to
the
your
podcast on that.
Yeah,
that was their work day.
She was confused, like why my story just cuts off, and then she's like, okay. And then when I got to the brick part, she was like, oh, I see. I think she found it funny. But
oh my god.
I think told well though, it is a pretty good joke.
yeah.
It's like a very kid-friendly joke too.
Yeah, it was kid friendly. What was the other one that people really found funny? It was the headlights needs fluids.
Oh Jesus
Is
Christ.
that a joke?
Yeah, well, I think it's a dad joke where the dad would like ask the kids to go inside the like 7-Eleven to pick up headlight fluids.
Oh, I know that was a thing, but it's more of a prank than a joke, right?
I think it was a joke on Gavin. For some reason, Gavin was known for saying that. Then.
Oh, that's just a joke on him because he like doesn't drive or anything.
Was that one? That might be him. Then.
Yeah, he's all like,
I don't.
yeah. These are people from Rooster Teeth.
I see. This is This is already awful.
Well, this is the fandom thing,
Rooster Teeth is what I initially had in mind as a model for this podcast when we first started.
Awful.
Well, I feel like, do you still listen to them? Because I stopped listening to them ever since Bernie left.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to it since then either, but I think it was more so closer to when COVID started that I actually stopped listening for a
Like
while.
I'm looking at my podcast library and it's kind of dry because a lot of the podcasts I listen to either stopped or taking a really long hiatus.
Yeah, I could see that happening. That's probably
Yeah.
more so COVID though, right? Not just a huge coincidence.
I don't know because I feel like a lot of them recorded. Like the one I listened to was Hello Internet, and they recorded in separate rooms or before, like because they didn't live in the same area. So
They just ran out of stuff. They just kept on telling that same fucking awful joke and realized and they killed them in the end. Jesus Christ!
what?
If I was
Mhm.
if I was gonna offer advice, I'd just be like, never tell that to another person live
Oh, here's my question. Like,
in their
do you tell
presence.
jokes to your wife? Do you tell jokes to your wife?
Do I tell jokes to my wife? No, I basically I don't have the brain capacity to make up jokes as elaborate as yours.
Well, like,
So
let's say you heard a joke, and then would you like, and you thought it was funny, would you tell it
yeah,
to her?
yeah. If I thought it was funny, I'd tell it to her. The
Ah,
joke I just heard, I would never tell that to another living soul. For as long as I live, I'll never tell this to another living soul. Unless I got a new job as like an interrogator of like foreign spies or terrorists, then I would tell that joke. I would tell that
ah.
joke to them every day until they gave up what I wanted. Other than that, I
I
wouldn't tell that.
I don't think you understand how much interrogation is. I don't think that's enough. Unless you plan on keeping them locked up for a very long time.
I feel like just like maybe 2 or 3 times, you tell that joke, they would spill the beans on everything. They would
Those are
give up
some
everything. Their
weak-willed people.
their beliefs would just they would cut their beliefs right there just to save themselves from that situation.
All right, let me know when you get a prisoner, and we'll test this out.
Yeah, well, I gotta get I would have to work in the industry as well. I'm not just gonna be like a freelance amateur
Yeah, no
fucking
worries. We'll
prisoner
wait till that
interrogator.
day comes.
When during like jokes, I always remember that like in dating, you know how girls are like when you look at these videos of like when girls describe like what kind of guy
Yeah,
they like,
It's
they
important
always
to make
find
them
that
laugh.
yeah, because they always say like, oh, I want to find someone who's funny, right? And part of that psychology is that when someone can make you laugh, it means that you guys share similar values in terms of what's funny, right? And
Well,
when they're
similar sense of
laughing,
humor at least.
yeah. So like so I guess when you're on a date with someone, do you tell them jokes? Like how do you what do you do to make them laugh? I guess.
Fucking, you know what? He'll just laugh. He'll just say something funny or whatever, and they'll laugh at it if you're lucky. If you tell that joke, no matter who the fuck you are, the date will be over.
That's definitely not a first date kind of joke.
Yeah, like fucking, I wouldn't even tell that joke to my wife.
even if you prep them, like it's not gonna be funny.
No, not at all. You know what? No, the way this joke would be told would be, I would say, listen to Brian telling a joke. And then I would play this for her. And then after
You
that,
tell it to her if you needed information out of her that she wasn't willing to give.
no, see, because I'm not telling a joke, so it's literally us just listening to Brian just give this sermon of death for like a minute or something. But through that, we would find the joy. That would be the joy of life. I myself cannot tell that joke, but listening to someone else say the joke, especially if it's Brian, then that would be where the joy comes from.
Have you guys gone to like comedy halls and stuff, like
No,
stand-up comedians? Those are actually really fun. I went to one. I had no expectation, and I was laughing, dying laughing. It was
that's
fun.
actually it's a good idea. Like if
It
that's
is.
like good, even like first date
I think it's a good
ideas.
date. Yeah, it's better than a movie personally. Like because you can actually talk to your date while because it's happening, right? Like there's intermission and things like that. Like there's like dead space
Yeah, man, it's just
compared to a movie.
minimum
It's a lot
shit.
better.
Yeah, it's just
Last one I
minimum
went
shit
to
for you
was
to
like
do.
still years ago, but I went to Who's Line live. That was
Oh, who
a pretty
line
fun.
was it anyways? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
it was them.
nice. Oh, it was them.
Yep.
No way. They're really
Yeah,
good.
it's cool to see. I mean, they've definitely aged since the show that I watched back then, but they're still funny.
Yeah. I would love to go to a Steve Harvey one. I watched a YouTube clip
Steve Harvey?
recently. Yeah, he's funny. I find him funny. And he was doing Family Feud. And the question was a question about him. It was a troll on him. It was like, what does Steve have more than one of?
Okay.
So the first answer the person gave was women. Steve have more than one women or wives, and that was like the top answer. And then the other one was like top answers were like money, I think, business suits, and then they started fumbling, like they couldn't figure it out. The other ones, the lowest answer with 4 people said hands, and Steve just looked at the honest like, what does that even mean? Hands? Why do I need more than one hands? That's pretty. Oh, you have to see the.
Why
it's
did
pretty
4
fun.
people say that though? What the hell? I
I'm
actually
not
don't
sure.
get that.
Fuck.
But it's also as good as the one where it was like audience question. It was like something you pass, and the guy rang in really quickly and said a joint. And
I
he just
mean,
looked.
I would expect at least 4 people say that. If 4 people
Yeah,
said
that one.
he
That
has
one.
4
That one.
hands,
That
or
one.
4 people said he has more than 2 hands.
That was really funny because the one that said afterwards was the hat, the one that you pass around church to donate money, and that was under the joint. And then he just looked at the camera saying like, "Oh, we're all going to hell now," kind of thing. I thought
Jesus Christ.
Well, one of
Steve
the things I
Harvey
don't like about Steve Harvey is he's like apparently super religious.
is he?
Yeah, I remember hearing that like it was probably a few years ago or so, but
I could not tell
apparently he's super
based on the way he
Jason wants
talks.
to persecute the religious, so
No, just because
he's no joke.
he's a type of person that actually pushes it on people and stuff like that. And I think
Um,
I'd have to watch like there's like a video or something, but he was during an interview of some sort. He was like saying how he wouldn't get as close to someone that wasn't religious as someone that is.
Wow,
Something along those lines and
you
stuff
wouldn't
like
get
that.
close to him for being super religious, so you are his
No, I don't mind
his
religion in
antichrist.
general, but it's like I just don't like it when people take it to the extent of like pushing it on other people like to that extent.
I think if he can go through an entire like fucking show of Price is Right and not try to convert anybody, I think he can hold it together long enough
what's
to be in a social
have you
setting.
had a situation where someone was pushy?
Oh, you know what? Recently, we got something funny in the mail, and it was at first when we got it, it was just like one of those like handwritten letters.
Oh,
Our address was handwritten on it as well, and so my wife said she
wow.
kind of like freaked. I was like, "What the fuck is this? What is this like some
Yeah,
serial
I
killer
would.
shit?" And then I also I opened it, right. I'm like, okay, hope to God it's not like anthrax, right? But then the reason I was like that was a lower chance. I'm like, who would want to waste money on anthrax to kill me, right? I imagine anthrax should be pretty expensive. I am not that kind of value.
You're
So
That's
so I
not.
opened it and I was right. Obviously good. Right? And then opened it, it was like one of those loose leaf papers, with the lines on it. Handwritten
Oh,
letter.
mine. School letters. Okay.
Handwritten letter starting off with,
Dear Mr.
like no, not your actual name, no. But it was
No.
basically like,
Oh.
hey neighbor, and like I understand times are tough during COVID. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people too. The whole world is in this very dark place. But I feel like this is a time for great faith. So if you want to hear more about the word of Jehovah, throughout the entire page, handwritten,
Oh,
Jehovah's
he's a
Witness.
Jehovah Witness.
Yep, Jehovah's Witness basically as proselytizing, asking people fucking to go to the JW site and fucking
They're
be
really
down with
strict, man.
Jehovah.
They're really strict, right? Because like, if you're part of that religion and say you stop believing in it, or
Yeah,
say
you get excommunicated.
you get excommunicated,
Yeah.
and like to the point where your family can't talk to you anymore, or your family would just not acknowledge your existence, kind of thing.
Yep.
If it was just
Basically
a
anyone that
little bit.
was in that same group.
Yep. Yep. Well, I even said I told this story about one of my friends back then where he was a Jehovah's Witness, and then when he got out, like excommunicated him.
Oh,
So even if your parents were in the religion, the church would they wouldn't be technically allowed from the church to associate with you. So it was like hard on families where it was hard on my friend. It was hard, but it's hard on families in general where you have one member that may be in it, and then if one member wants to leave and your entire family's in it, then like causes that it's a man-made friction between in the family and stuff.
It's also
It
tough
is
too because they're also stunned by growth, like socially, right? Because they wouldn't.
sort
There's a
of,
lot
well,
of things that
it's
are
like their own
hidden by them.
community. It's like
Yeah.
if you were, what's attractive to a lot of people is like if you own your own business or you're contractors, like what's attractive is like they will steer the business of its church members towards you, right? So you kind of get like this whole community, this ecosystem that comes to you for kind of all that shit.
Oh, the Apple ecosystem. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's
That's
kind of
benefit.
like yeah, like that. There's a reason why a lot of these like in a lot of rural areas, in a lot of some lower income states, or even just sparsely populated states or provinces, these you get communities of Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, even just church groups, because you get to, it's like a networking thing
It's like
as
you
well.
almost have no choice.
It's only a little bit, like only Jehovah's Witness and more like it's not as tense. There is some leniency, so that's why they're not like a fucking cult. But you get a little bit more heavy into that shit, and there's like the recruiting, the indoctrination, and the penalties, which is the big one. Then it's pretty much a cult at that point. They're like they're like if they just go sideways just a little bit, fucking right into cult territory.
Oh, did you write the letter back?
No, what the fuck? I didn't throw that shit away. I'd be like, holy fuck. I was thinking like, oh man, I hope this guy just printed out a whole bunch of copies on blue ink and fucking faux lined paper, right? Because I was like, man, this guy, but that's the thing. Like some of them, like just because of the faith itself, sometimes it makes you do like insane things, like write letters out hand by hand, right?
Have you ever had those moments where in school a girl who likes you wrote you a letter, handwritten you a letter, and you received it, and you're
so
you weren't
happy
too
until
Wait,
it's
does
her
this happen in real
her
life?
just telling you to join her church.
like you didn't feel the same way. Do you write them back, or do you just like pretend you never got the letters?
Wait,
Yeah,
has this
you gotta
happened to you
write them
though?
back. Who, me? Yeah,
Well,
but
either of you. Wait, you got a
yeah,
letter?
no, like we would exchange notes and shit. So obviously it would be awkward if I didn't fucking write the note back. If I get it, because I got it, like it would be during class, right? And then like they'll be passing around notes and shit. So if
Or it could be like in your locker.
yeah, she passed it to me, and then I'm like, oh, okay, and I just fucking, I just crumple it and I look straight ahead. That would be pretty. That would be cold. That would be cold
That
as
would be
hell.
cold. Yeah.
But that would be fucking cool as
Well,
shit.
it's not something I ever had to worry about because
You would
it
be
never
alpha.
happened.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be awkward because let's say you're not into her, then now you're in a worse situation
That was
than not getting it yourself.
yeah, this was okay. So this was an embarrassing. Well, not really embarrassing, but it was kind of like a very shameful moment. I remember in 8th grade or something. This one girl, like straight up, just summoned as much balls as she metaphorically had, and she literally just asked me out while in class. Like just turned around and just asked me out. And me being the fucking idiot I was, I'm like, I just laughed because I thought it was a fucking joke. I laughed.
Oh,
like, shit,
the
was she
laughter's too
serious?
strong.
Yeah,
No,
I think you
yeah,
cut
I was
out
like,
there.
oh, did I cut out?
Yeah.
So later on, I laughed because I thought it was a joke, and then I think she looked pretty like she looked like oh god, did that actually happen to me? And later on, I thought about it like maybe like in the afternoon, and I was like, oh shit, what if she was serious? Then I looked like a complete dick. But then so later on, I went and go talk to her. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know if you're joking or not, but yeah, I don't
I'm
feel
taken.
bad if I'm laughing. No, I mean like I don't feel bad. I'm laughing. I didn't mean anything by it or whatever. Well, I think she like at that point I was already dead to her. But she
Well,
was like one of my she was one of my friends too, so it's not like she was
oh,
just like, oh
she
yeah, don't
wasn't a
worry about it.
rando. She
Yeah,
wasn't
she
a
was like,
rando
oh
who's
yeah,
like,
don't worry about it.
I curse you
And
in
that was
my
it. But
name.
I swear to God, like after that, she's like, you're fucking dead to me. That's what I went through. It was a cringe moment. Oh man, if I could go back, I would have handled it way
See,
better. If I
that's
was go back in time with not like a fucking doofus mindset, eighth grade mindset.
well, the letter thing that did happen, but I didn't respond. I was like, oh, I
Oh shit! But you knew who gave it to you?
yeah, well, they signed it. I knew who gave it to
Jesus.
me. But I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, those are just cringy moments. It makes your
cringy
skin tingle.
moments. Actually, another cringy. I thought was comedic for me and my friends, but it can be cringy because like some girl asked my buddy out. No, some girl said, "Hey, my friend likes you," and asked my friend, "Would you go and talk to her?" Like that's what. And then he turned to me and said, "Or no, sorry." So a girl asked him, "My friend likes you," and then
Uh.
he said, "Oh, you should ask Brian."
Wait, what?
I looked at him like, "Ask me what?"
I think I heard this
What?
story actually.
I thought that was really funny.
So I heard this. I think this was one of the classic stories. Someone someone told about you in our
What
group
am
of
I supposed
friends.
to? Oh,
Um,
those are tough moments.
yeah, yours are not cringe. Yours are fucking golden age stories.
What? They're
Yeah,
cringe.
no, they're fucking gold. Your stories are gem. Mine's are absolute fucking dog shit cringe. Yours are should be framed. Uh, should be written in a book with like gold trimmed pages on it.
I'd
Yep.
read it.
Oh, it's good to experience those mistakes.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. It's best not to dwell on cringe as when you were a kid.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
no helping it though. Sometimes you're just like can't sleep at night, and that's just where your head goes for some stupid
When
reason.
you're young, your priorities are not correct, right? Like
No, of
I remember
course
like
not.
I used to like focus so much on like single digit scores on homework and stuff. And it was like in the end it's like that never mattered. Whether I scored 30 out of 30 or 29 out of 30. It would have been the same. My life wouldn't have
Yeah,
changed.
exactly.
I
But
never had that experience either because I'm not smart.
what was your values as a when you were like a 10th grader or, high school?
Like TV shows or games and stuff. Nothing of value really. And
Yeah, that's so
It's
same
still
like
like
course,
that
not much
now,
has
though.
changed. Yeah, it's still exactly like that.
really if you like miss a raid and wow you're just like shit my life is over.
Never played WoW.
But like you
Never
know what
had
I
the
mean.
money for it.
Man, you can I think that's you should sell that on a date. Like you
What?
can make anyone feel better by saying how bad your life is. You're like, oh, you think that's bad? You should
You
hear
can
what I
sell
have.
that on a
Yeah,
date.
that's one of the pluses, you know.
He straight up just says, "Yeah, I remember back then when you were kids and all you cared about was games and TV shows. That's my life right now. Can we fuck
Big
now,
selling point. Yeah.
please?"
You
Yeah,
push others up by pushing yourself down. It's like the
I do though. That's actually true.
yeah. I think there's a market. I feel like there are women who would feel a lot better about themselves if they knew someone else was worse.
Yeah,
You
that's why
got
women
wait.
always look for guys of low value, right?
Yeah, those are healthy ones that you should look for. The ones where you have to like debase yourself.
Yeah, who's ever heard of a girl wanting high standards?
This is exactly there. You go. You gotta
Well,
get
the challenge with high standards, you have to live up to those standards. Otherwise, you're in risk of jeopardy of losing your relationship. And then it's like, tough. Whereas low standards, I mean, it's easier to
Good
go
luck finding
down.
a girl that would look for someone with low stand or that meets low standards.
I feel like you can always maintain it. Like it's easier to like be less than it is to be more, I think.
So
I
wait,
think that's true. Yeah.
so just this also like has to do with our earlier when we talked about fucking growing up as CBC or
Right.
like not Chinese as first language. You feel like the girl the girl you end up with later on like does she have to be like kind of like in your position where it's kind of like also a CBC thing, or you think you can bring home like just a totally non-Chinese girl to your parents, or do
Um.
you think you can bring home like a totally like straight from like China girl to your parents or not? I
Well,
know
that's one of the
like
nice thing about my parents is that they've openly said before when I was a lot younger that they don't care.
no I this is less about like if your parents are if your parents are low-key racist or not. It's more like who would you be comfortable, like who do you foresee yourself, what's your preference now, like what would be your
I
preference?
I think it goes back to that communication. Like for me, I can't communicate complex stuff with my parents, law, like science and stuff. But I also can't communicate like complex emotions, right? Like I can tell them if I'm happy or if I'm sad or if I'm angry, but like say words like jealousy or envy or I don't know what's more complex, guilt, things like that. It's tough. So I feel like in relationship, you need to be able to express those. So I feel like if I could say that in Chinese, which I can't, then I couldn't date someone who was like then English. They wouldn't have that. I couldn't communicate with that. So I would need to pick someone that can we can communicate on that level. So it doesn't matter if it's like they're not from Canada, if they're not CBC, if they're from China, is fine. But
But
they
they
need to
need to
know
be
the
able,
language.
yeah, I see, they got to be able to communicate with you.
Yeah, like
You
to the
got
point where I
That
can
makes
express
sense.
myself heart to heart without me looking up a dictionary. Like if I say like I feel very guilty doing this, and she'd look at me like, "What's guilty?" It's like, well,
Your girlfriend is
Makes sense.
your current one is basically the same kind of deal with you though, right? Like you're
no, she's not CBC, but she's similar to yourself. Like
oh,
she
okay.
came to China, or she was in China when she was young, came here like in middle school or something. So English is pretty perfect. Like English is like her main language now. Like her Chinese is like she doesn't get to use Chinese as much, but so like we mostly speak in English.
But you
Um,
say she said she was saying she was telling you not to say lines from Stephen Chow's movie, so she speaks Cantonese then.
no, she speaks. Well, she can speak Cantonese and Mandarin and her mother native tongue. So she's very outfitted in the Asian language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's her family from?
China, but I
Yeah, I
don't know
know.
what like
Where?
region. I don't know what that region is. So I'm not sure.
Wait, she's never told you?
I know in Chinese, I just don't know in English.
Oh, what's it in Chinese?
I think it's um not Chuzhou. Oh, I don't know. I'm stumped now. I'll let you know in the later podcast when I
Okay.
study it.
I see. Is it still like a southern Cantonese area?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a southern one. Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
She doesn't listen to this, right?
Uh, don't think so. Not actively.
Okay.
She could, but I think if she listens to us talk about politics, this is like it just bores her.
I
she's
know
not a
that feel.
she's not a fan of politics.
Yeah, Jason would be literally in the episode and he would
You know,
feel
it'd be
it.
hilarious if you met someone who's super into politics and you always have to like call Vincent for notes. Like, okay, tell me
What?
more about
I wouldn't go to that
imperialism.
extent.
Jesus, at that point you should
It's
end
like,
the
why would I?
date.
Yeah, like, why would I go out with her if that's? I mean, unless there's other things, of course. But if
But
it's
isn't
like
that
she likes to
normal?
talk
Like
about politics a lot.
if you like a girl, like I feel like a classic move is to understand what they like, and then you look into things what they like. You're like, oh
You're
yeah,
not going out of your
Yeah, but
fucking
I'm not gonna
way,
fake who
man.
I am.
not fake. It's not like me faking me watching an episode. My friend telling me his favorite episode. Me, it's not like it's almost like that faking. It's not that fake of a
Yeah,
thing.
but you gotta keep it going on because it's not like fucking it's not like a one episode deal. they like talking about that shit and they like that stuff. It's not like, oh yeah, you can get. It's not like a one-time thing. You're always gonna have to be tuned into that shit. What are you gonna do if you don't like any of that? You don't want to talk about politics or fucking all that shit. What are you gonna do?
I guess I don't know. Maybe it's me, but I tune in onto anything or a lot of things. So then, when people talk about something, I'm like, I at least have something to contribute to our conversations.
Yeah, the good thing is like even if you find your like significant other, you can like she can totally be into politics and you're not, and it can still work out.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Fucking like
That's true.
you don't need to go out of your way to fucking like cater to her interests.
And you can bring that up down the road when you're like, it's like 6 months in, you're like, hey, honey, I need to let you know. I know nothing about politics. I've been asking my friends for all the
He
clip
said
notes.
6 months in.
There's no way I would do that for 6 months.
Okay, after third base.
Yeah, after you've gotten you've gotten the home run.
Yeah, just get the home run, and then you could be like, you know what? This is all facade.
I'm not who you think I am.
I'm not rich. I don't have a mansion. All of this is rental. Just crash it down.
It would be even better if they were doing the same thing because they thought you were into like whatever. So then they were like flexing.
That'd be stupid. A girl fakes to be like an expert in politics to impress me, and I know nothing about politics.
No, but she might get that impression. Like she might be like, "Oh, you do a podcast." She listens to it. It's like, "Oh, there's a lot about politics." And
oh God!
If she listens, there's no way.
Yeah, ruins it because she listened to one episode. Like, oh my God, they always.
Then she would know I know nothing. I openly say I know nothing. Like multiple times.
She doesn't listen to the whole thing, right? She just listens to the part where
I think I say it right off the bat.
And then we go straight into the thing, and then she shuts it off before you make a comment about like, well, I don't really know what we're talking about. She shuts it off before that.
Well, you know what? I would be open to this sitcom-esque relationship.
Oh God!
Okay, so you would jump in and learn about
I wouldn't. I'm just saying in this situation, I get a girl and I get lucky, so I'm open to it.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm saying. So as long as you know there's a possibility, you would totally do.
No, I'm still saying I wouldn't fake who I am.
I don't know. Like if a girl was into like say dancing, I would do dancing just so I could like attend her.
Yeah, but would you fake to be like, oh yeah, I'm an expert, I'm an award-winning salsa dancer?
No, he would dance for the rest of his life.
I wouldn't fake to say
they would
like,
have two kids. They would have 2 kids already, and he'd be like fucking dancing.
I wouldn't fake it
based off for like 10 years.
But I wouldn't fake it by saying like, oh yeah, I'm a brilliant dancer. I would say, oh yeah, I'm into dancing. I've been looking it up.
Yeah, and once your kids graduate, then you turn to her and say, yeah, I was never into dancing.
Pretty much.
And then she takes off the ring, puts it down, walks away.
Well, wouldn't it be fishy if your girlfriend's like, yeah, I love Civ 6. And then
would it be
you do?
Fishy? If my wife was like, oh, I love. No, I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, why would I? I don't get why would I automatically think, oh fuck, why would she say that? That's too specific. What's something onto me? Like, I don't understand why I would need to be paranoid. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, suspicious. Sure. Okay, suspiciously fucking specific. Whatever. Like, are we gonna fuck later?
My girlfriend was suspicious because I was like, oh yeah, I need to go out later. So he's like, what are you going out for? I'm like, I'm just gonna go out. If I was gonna go out to pick up a
It's cake. COVID, man. Why are you going out?
What are you going out for? Exactly.
Their suspicions are much more valid.
Hey, I was going out to pick up a cake for our, monthly celebration.
Yeah, there you go. You fucked it up, man.
Wait, monthly celebration?
Yeah.
Yeah, every month on the 29th, they have a fucking cake.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or just like something. But like, it's important to her, so whatever.
Oh, is this actual? Something. It's an actual thing. Like every month, you gotta buy a cake. I thought I was just
it doesn't have to be a cake, just like something. But today I got a cake. Yeah.
Okay. I see. All right.
Wait, this happened today?
Yeah, today. It'll probably have to happen again.
Congratulations.
It'll probably happen again.
A month again.
12
months later.
12 times a year.
12 times a year. There's a lot of things in relationships you don't know what you're signing up for until you're in it.
When she
Dude,
flips that
cake is not a
calendar,
bad thing to sign up for.
when she flips that calendar, it's a big deal to her. You have no idea.
There are, yeah, different values is there's a thing called perpetual problems where you always fight about the same thing, and a lot of it is because you have different values, and those are really annoying because you feel like you talked about this before, but it doesn't get resolved. You're just like, well, you just need to learn how to like find a common ground where you guys can just move past it and know that it's going to come back again. But it's like that's something that I think I learned from being in a relationship. Like there are things that not all problems will be solved forever. There are some that just keeps coming up. That is just like, and it has nothing. It's not right or wrong. It's just you just have different values, and that's why it always comes up. You know?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. If it's just like she always gets annoyed on the way you fucking do your chores, that's another thing from like she wants you to convert to like Islam or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it's and I think my friend has that because like she personally does not want to have kids. And
That's a fucking deal breaker.
Yeah, that
her
is
if they don't agree on that shit.
Her husband wants to have kids, and like he's always been hinting, and that's something that comes up a lot. But yeah, I mean, for some people it's a big one. For them, I think it seems like it's doable that they're still married, so it seems like it's working.
Yeah, I mean, like
it can be a big one.
Those ones, it is a big one. This is usually those ones, like at least one of them or both of them compromise on something, right? Like usually, like kids or no kids,
fur baby.
No, like they'll be like, oh, maybe they say something like, oh, not now, maybe open into it later, some shit like that.
That's just buying time.
Was a big one though.
That's just buying time.
That is because it is. It's
that's
one
like
of those big
that's
ones.
like Lindsey Graham saying we can't evict Trump right now. What was that thing called? Impeach Trump because it's too early or whatever. And now that Trump's out of the, it's too late to do it. Why are we even doing this? It's like that. That's what the women are trying to do when they say they'll consider it 2 years later. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, it's too early. Let's think about it. And then by the time they bring up 2 years later, it's like, I'm really too old. I can't really have kids.
I mean, like the whole thing is one of them has to give. Is either the guy's like, yeah, fuck, you know what? Yeah, I can do it. I can do without kids in life or some shit like that, right? Like it's a pretty big fucking. That's a pretty. Big
when I reincarnated, I better have kids in my next life.
Like that's not like fucking. Oh, you never dry the dishes when you put in the dishwasher. That is fucking leagues above that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Good luck to them. I hope they figure some shit out.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. It's that's a more. But what I'm saying, the idea of perpetual problem is when you guys have different values, which everyone will. Those are problems that never go away. They just keep coming back.
Yeah.
And you just have to expect it, and you just have to learn to live with it, and not be upset when you guys do fight about it.
Yes, thank you. Relationship money.
It's the wisdom that I learned.
Yeah. Yeah, my deal. Yeah, if I were going to give my unsolicited advice as well, apparently that's what we're doing. To say, you need to be able to say everything that you need to say.
What does that mean?
Like you just keep nothing. I feel like.
Oh, like hide no secrets.
Yeah, the ones that you can feel the best at. Those relationships are the ones where like there's nothing that you feel like you can't say, or you're afraid of saying, or just you feel like there's a taboo. Like everything, you can say anything. Even especially stuff that like bugs you or is on your mind, you say it. Or stuff that's silly or stupid.
I know what Zinzin wants to say. He wants to say the N word, and it's like his wife is the only way he could just say it to, without getting canceled.
No, that's okay. I can go through.
That's an interesting thought.
I can go through decades without saying it. There's no need to get addicted to that. It's not a thing. That would
good that you don't have a problem.
That would be crazy if it was a thing.
You know how many people got canceled for saying the N word in public?
I can't believe like people just can't. They just can't not say.
Just don't use that word.
You know, like
not even in the song. Not even if someone's.
It's not okay. Even like a list. It's just like, hey, you know what? Just don't say that. Some people just can't do it. They're like, Okay, I can't hold it in anymore. Oh, I did it for like 2 weeks. I didn't say it at all, but now I'm gonna
But
treat
Jason, I think that's a
myself.
good litmus test. If you can say the N-word to a girl and she doesn't cancel you on it, she's the keeper.
I feel like the better litmus test was you don't even feel the need, either one of you, to even just say it.
That's
That would be
true.
pretty good. It's just if you just go, if you're a woman and you'd be like, I feel like I haven't said racial slurs for a while. Do you think we should have a day where we could just let it all go? I mean, like, that would be fucking weird. I mean, it would be way better if you just
Hey, I don't know.
that's not
That's like
even something.
I think that's something. It's like fetish, right? If your partner's into fetish and you're not
A
really into
racial slur fetish.
something, you just like, okay, well, let's we'll do it in private. No one needs to know about it. Something you just get all out.
I'm not sure if racial slurs are recognized as a fetish yet.
I sure hope not.
They're so weird fetish. Like there's guys who likes balloons, like just touching them and feeling them. Whatever.
Yes, there's plenty of even weirder stuff than balloons.
Yeah. So I mean, racial slurs. I don't know. I bet there's ones.
And still, racial slurs is not really in that list yet.
Maybe they're just like, let's just karaoke as many rap songs, but there's as many racial slurs we can. So.
What a world we live in, right?
Yeah, we do. I think it's tough. Social shaming is very unjust because you can't defend yourself, right? There's like a woman who tweeted something really horrible. Like I think she said something like, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS." Oops, I won't because I'm white. Like that's what she said. And she's like a PR woman. Yeah,
she's a PR woman.
She's a well. There's more context
when you go to like PR school. I think like on day one, those are like that's the class where like don't say this if you're going to get into this.
I think if you take it out of context, it sounds really horrible. But apparently, this person she had very low followers. She had like 166.
Wait.
That doesn't mean anything.
Context.
Let me give you more context. You don't know the context.
Give it all. Load up the context.
One is she doesn't think anyone's listening to her, right? She has very low followers. So when she tweets out stuff, like she doesn't really get too many likes or replies or retweets. So like she tweeted this one out, right? The other thing is I think what she was trying to make a joke out of was her white privilege. Like she was just making a joke about privilege, like like how privileged people would think. Like I don't think she thinks that way. I think she's
so it's like an ironic.
Wait, was she saying
right?
So she said later on when it just blew up, did she say stuff like
no? But the thing was,
ironic.
She didn't have the chance to because she said it on her flight to Africa. So during that time, she was offline. So when it blew up,
to this too, yeah.
When it blew up,
land.
Yeah, she landed, and it was too late at that point to even give context or try to apologize. Right? It's like.
And then she got fired from her, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, fired. So it's like this. We have this system of public shaming where you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance to defend yourself. Like some are lucky that you can.
But you still gotta know your limits.
That one was like even if you load it up with context, how are you gonna get out of this?
Even with context, and even if people know it's ironic, it's still not acceptable.
You have to be.
I understand it's not acceptable, but like the punishment she got, it's outweighs what she did. Like it's not. It's bad what she did, but I don't think her punishment is just. That's what I'm
she's in public relations, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's especially worse because
she should not. Her whole life is ruined. Like we don't know how the ramification is. We don't know like if she's in depression. We don't know like if she's in poverty because of it.
I mean, like at that point, if you're in public relations and you I mean, that's not.
She should know the consequences of doing that because she's in public relations.
I don't know. We're just victim blaming.
It's like if you become a doctor, but you sometimes you just like killing people. I think that would bar you from a lot of medical licenses.
I feel like you could get away with it. Like if you're a doctor and you want to kill people, I feel like
you're found out about it.
You're smart enough to do it in a way where no one would notice.
Yeah, no, but of course, comparing it to this, where you just tweet it out. If in the comparable situation, the doctor just fucking publicly just kills someone, I'm pretty sure he's gonna lose his license. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of like context that can save them from keeping their license. Especially if they legit say like, yeah, I mean, like I just like this person this is just a We're not even doing surgery. It's just like, oh yeah, he came in for like a fucking checkup. Yeah, I killed him.
It's
I
like,
felt
wasn't
like it.
there a recent doctor who told a black woman doctor to go home, you're fine, even though she couldn't breathe, like she had COVID,
Yeah,
and
but
and
like,
he basically killed her, but like,
no, but that
and
is
he got no,
completely different. Because it's
because
like, yeah, you could say he's fucking worthless and incompetent, but he's
yeah.
not like actively wanting to murder
Yeah, I
people.
think it's more so negligence.
Well,
No.
one I think, well, he was racist, so he he was playing favorite to others, but and also they were in U.S. pandemic, limited hospital bed, etc. But she was also a doctor. She was black.
I mean, no, the fucking point is like she was in public relations and she said that, like that, like
Yeah,
her
I guess you could
job.
say she should have been more. But again, she said it like I don't know what time it was. Like if it was early Twitter, like perhaps she doesn't understand. Nothing you put on the internet is private. But
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I think it's fucking stupid too, the way that everybody's always going out to like cancel people and shit. But it's the same mindset as if like I think it's bad when cars hit people, but it's kind of hard to fault the car if some guy starts running out on the freeway
Mm-hmm.
just in the middle of night. You know what I mean? Like you would wish that it wouldn't happen, but you're not surprised that it happened.
If you knew that your friend was suicidal and he always wanted to get hit by a car, but people always kept stopping and didn't, and by a miracle someone did hit him, would you tell the driver like, "Hey man, my friend always I wanted this to happen. I just want to say thank you." Would that situation
No, I
happen?
will not say that will
I
never
kind
happen
of
in
don't follow.
that would
Oh,
never
okay.
happen in real life. That's not what people say to each other. Like you would never go to the driver. Yeah, I just want to tell you that you fulfilled my friend's fucking lifelong dream. So
You don't need to feel bad about it.
no, that's so fucking
I think
weird.
he'll still feel bad about it because he'd still be like on trial for it and everything. Unless
But
I understood
anyways,
the situation wrong. I don't know.
like the PR person on Twitter
Yeah.
fucking up. Like that's literally her job, right? And like that's you can see why she probably got fired. Just probably that canceling is probably makes more sense than a lot of other ones that I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah. People were trying to cancel Chris Pratt again.
Yeah, well, that is
Recently.
fucking stupid, right? But like,
Wait, I don't know if what's the situation with Chris Pratt.
He took a picture of a pen that says "Made in China," then it says Bank of America, and he tweeted about it. I forgot what he said. Something witty, I think. And then he did something else. It wasn't like anything bad. It was just it was kind of like a comedian thing, like it infer something. Anyways, people got upset.
I thought people were just mad at him because he was like more right winger than people like, and he didn't want to say bad things about Trump or something like that.
Could be that too. I don't know. People just for some reason there was a moment when everyone loved Chris Pratt, and now there's a moment where people just don't like him and just try to cancel him for no reason.
And
No,
that was one of the reasons. That was one of those things where people tell you, growing up here, that politics is not polite conversation to have with people.
yeah,
Well, it's
Because
like the usual thing you're not supposed to talk about in like first dates and stuff like that is politics and
if you're not
religion.
gonna talk about politics, what do you talk about on first date?
over here, like actually, a lot of other places, I don't think people say that shit. I think people just fucking talk about whatever they can talk.
You
They
think
do
in
talk
France
about.
they talk about Macron all the time? They're like,
I
yeah,
don't
that
know.
fucking Macron.
I have no idea. You have to ask a French person.
Is that
It's
fucking Macron?
I've heard people that say, yeah, they would do that. Like they would say, yeah, it's kind of bizarre. They could understand it, but over there they would talk about whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why people are shy away. Well, I guess
Well, you would know
It's
why
just
they
because
want to cancel. They want to cancel Chris Pratt just because
it's
they
just
find out her
conflicting
politics.
views and stuff.
I think as a first date, it's because you don't know someone, you don't know like the values and stuff.
It's a
Talking about
heavy
something,
thing. Yeah.
talking about something heavy,
Yeah.
you don't have that nuance, so you don't know like if they're a bigot because they're talking about something that makes them sound like a bigot, but maybe they have a more nuanced take on it. But yeah, probably don't
It's a
want to use the word bigot in the first date either.
Are you a bigot?
I don't think it's ideal.
You know who I hate? Bigots.
Ooh, we share something in common.
bigot.
Depends on what their overturned window of what a bigot is.
So, like, would you call yourself a proud boy, Jason?
No.
Don't say you are.
Well, even if I break it down to the actual meanings of each word, I am not proud whatsoever. I am male, but depending on how you define boy, I'm not a young male.
Well, did you read the recent news about government of Canada?
Yeah.
Didn't they classify as a terrorist group or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I guess you're in the end then.
He's in the loop.
I was just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm in a boy band. We're called
Instant FBI. Instant SWAT. Fuck
yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Normally I
Mhm.
would always say like, oh yeah, when you see a country overreaching with the label terrorist, it's usually a bad thing. But
Mhm.
Proud Boys is such a fucking mind-numbingly stupid thing that exists that I really honestly couldn't give a shit. They could call it like I don't really care.
How bad are they? I never heard of them until recently. Like,
There was just recently. Okay, so like, actually, it was started by a Canadian guy. Actually, yeah, it's like a big U.S. thing, but it was actually started by this guy named Gavin McGinnis,
mhm.
and he kind of got his chops early on. He was one of the co-founders of Vice, along with that Shane guy or whatever. But he left pretty early. I think he had really radically different views, but he was sort of like a personality, right? Because he would say a lot of stuff, a lot of like stuff, a lot of jokes about women, kind of like staying in the kitchen and shit, like those kind of jokes, right? Like his viewpoint was like women.
The make me the sandwich one.
Yeah, because his viewpoint was more like it was like now when you look at it, people would the widespread opinion is like it would be a pretty misogynistic thing to say, right? Back
Mhm.
then, he made his chops from it, making jokes from that kind of stuff, right? And like I guess back then people could say like they could have, I think it's like he was joking and shit, but he really took it. He really ran with it because he actually started making a lot of political stuff. Some shows he did started to get more serious. So then he wasn't known as that guy that made those jokes, those just misogynistic jokes. He started being one of those guys with like, oh, like this is a really serious. This is actually more serious, like a more writer wing solid viewpoint than just a comedian. And then that's when like Proud Boys started to get like he made it. It was like almost like a gang or an organization, and basically it was just be like Proud Boys are just supposed to be proud of whatever. It was supposed to be proud of like your like American culture, Canadian culture, just Western culture, right? And
But
it
why
was
do they call them a neo-Nazi then?
because
Like,
it grows up to it because it's in response to a bunch of people were like criticizing stuff like the racism, the inherent inequalities. This was before like people started to actually go into like a socialist sort of view. Back then, it was more like just a lot of these really liberal light
but when people
thoughts.
say neo-Nazi, they
We're
don't
getting there. We're
mean
getting there. We're getting. Just
like,
bear
oh,
with me
sorry,
for a
sorry.
second.
But by
Neo-Nazi, yeah,
definition,
yeah,
if
because
it's not
the
people.
supremacists, white supremacists, they like to group it in as in like
Okay,
neo-Nazi,
but they're
white
not people
supremacists.
who believe in Hitler. They're like
No, they're not
Nazis.
overtly, but
Okay.
yeah, they're not overtly like Nazi Hitler Nazis, but a lot of them there's like they have some people in their membership that are neo Nazis, but they themselves are kind of like a supremacist organization.
Okay,
And
sorry. Hmm.
people won't get it because a lot of their quite a few of their members aren't actually white. They're more like the Cuban, like Florida Cubans that are just really pro capitalist, but it kind of morphs into this really stupid like supremacist sort of deal. But what he kind of did was like he made this thing called Proud Boys, and it was basically just like you're supposed to be like they felt like they were under siege from this liberal media that was going on that was like they felt like they were being denigrated. Like, oh yeah, how can we can have Black appreciation or Black Cultural Month, but no, like, like White Cultural Month or what
Oh,
something
this
like
is
that.
the All Lives Matter thing.
Yeah, it was on All Lives Matter sort of mindset, right? Like, oh, how come every other person that's not white or of European descent, how come they can trash all this stuff and we can't have pride in it our own or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It felt like that, and then obviously it naturally grows even harder towards more of a very like closer approaching like a supremacist right wing stance because you attract those people. That's literally you can attract the neo-Nazi stuff, and even your own members they can start to say like, yeah, why don't we have this fucking pride or whatever, right? So then that group turned into like a very anti-immigrant, very anti, definitely anti-communist, like violently anti, like socialist communist, anti-immigrant, supremacist organization in the way where it's like they can get away saying like, hey, how can you call us white supremacists? Where but the leader's Cuban, and we got a whole bunch of people that are blue, black, like black, brown, white, and Asian or whatever, right? But like if you say, okay, we're not saying you're racist out of race, but you are all fucking supremacists, definitely like fascist supremacists, because you believe that your inherent supremacy in this whatever in your citizenship, whether it be American or whatever, you feel like that is like the best. That is the only thing that matters, and everybody else can eat shit or get fucked if they're not what you are, right? And that's exactly what they are. They're like a supremacist organization called fucking Proud Boys and shit.
But have they done anything terrorist? Like,
It was the Capitol riot that made them into that terrorist organization. And the thinking it goes okay, and then the argument is like, oh yeah, well, what about like all these other organizations, right? Like that may be just as bad, or they are just as rowdy. There'll be riots and shit. Like they'll say, wow, their supporters would always say, okay, Canada, you've lost your mind because why would you call Proud Boys a terrorist organization when like Black Lives Matter or whatever is not a terrorist organization, right? So that's like what you can spot them like every so often everywhere else on the internet and whatever when they have those comments. But it's like at the base of it, I think the thinking goes is like, one, you're obviously influenced by America, right? Like that they feel like they're a dangerous group, then you feel like you're a dangerous group. But the reason Canada did it first and foremost is because it's a little bit in tune with this racial, the problems that could arise if you let something racial go, a racial problem go out of hand. And the problem with this is a white supremacy thing, like an organization in Canada, they recognize that this can do a lot of damage. Like it can already do a lot of damage if it's any kind of other race, insert race supremacy organization. But being a white majority country, you don't want that sort of thing coming in and destabilizing shit. So that's the practical considerations why you call them, why you label them like a fucking terrorist organization. Regularly, I would say like, yeah, this is I would always say like, yeah, terrorist it's just one of those boogeyman terms that they've made into a thing.
Well, it's a buzzword. It's a buzzword.
More importantly, legally and the way the government works is if they've made this a thing where they can
you can't fly, right?
Come down hard on anything that's labeled this as a terrorist, right? In this case, because it's such a fucking dumb organization, like I don't even care if they call it terrorist or not. Just fucking throw the book at them. They're all a bunch of idiots, anyways.
All right. Well, I need to wrap up.
All right.
What do you guys have?
I don't know. I don't know why you wanted to end with such a fucking topic.
That's a
you went through.
I wanted to end off with a thinker,
2 hours of just mindless drivel, and at the end, you actually asked something that is much more serious and warrants a discussion.
Well, I actually have nothing to discuss about that one. I just heard the government labeled them as a terrorist group, and I thought that was interesting.
What do you think then? Like, quickly, your thoughts.
I'm thinking if you're afraid of flying and people were forcing you to fly on an airplane, you wanted to stay on the ground, you just tell them I'm a Proud Boy, and then you're on a no-fly zone, right?
I think you
Oh,
get.
you'd be going different places though.
There's a bunch of things they can do if you're a terrorist organization. They can seize your assets. You obviously fucking go to jail and shit. They can come and arrest you for being a
If you're a
terrorist.
hobo and you wanted to, would that be an easy way to get to jail? Be
I
like,
think if
hey,
you're a hobo, an easier way to get to jail would be just to like, I don't know, fucking
Stab a guy. I don't know.
yeah, just go in front of the police station and just take a piss. I feel like,
hmm.
like you don't have to be labeled a terrorist coming
It
out.
would be really annoying if they took sympathy and like, oh, let me take you to a place you can go to the washroom. They're
No,
like,
goddamn it, I want you to slap those cuffs on me.
just
Well,
arrest
if
me,
you
bro.
pissed in there, I'm pretty sure you just get in lockup. You wouldn't get sent to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go into the jail. You go into the slammer
And in the
for a
serious
day.
case, I don't know, nothing. I guess yeah, it's a good. I guess it's fine. To be honest, I'm not really invested in the whole idea of it.
Yeah,
I
it
guess it's
doesn't.
fine. Yeah, it
It's
doesn't matter
it's
to me.
it's one of those things where the people that want to make it a big deal will try and sell it to you as a big deal, and literally, I honestly don't care. It might as well just be labeling SpongeBob a terrorist. Fucking.
What if that Jehovah Witness was a Proud Boy when he wrote to you? Be like, I would like you to join us, brother.
That's the funny thing, because Jehovah's Witnesses are very more likely not to be Proud Boys because they like invest a lot of like time and effort and money to get their members to learn the language of other like countries and people to get them to
Oh,
proselytize to them.
I see, I see.
Like what I said earlier in one of those episodes, like the Mormons, they tried to like like they reach out to the immigrant communities because more often than not, they're like the only ones. They're the first people that immigrants would see that come up to them and speak their language as a
Hmm.
foreigner or like
Hmm.
as like a white guy or a non. Like
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
That's pretty
I
that's
see what
how
you're
they
smart.
saying.
kind of that's how they get a big.
Well, I think it's smart too because immigrants often, when you come to a new place, you're looking for
Yeah,
community and
they
stuff,
feel
and
alone and stuff, and
yeah,
these guys come up
religion.
and
Yeah,
provide it, and
yeah.
they're just like join this religion. Yeah, I'm speaking like whatever Chinese, Korean, Spanish,
It's
any
like why
language,
not? You get
right?
you get food, and people come to your business. If you open like a, I don't know, like a laundromat, people are
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, yeah, we know
yeah.
you're
So
Korean. Well,
yeah,
go
so
to
the
your
Jehovah's
laundromat.
Witness is ironically wouldn't have much Proud Boys in their ranks because they would not like this at all. They'd be like, why the fuck we have to go learn their language? Why can't they learn some American?
Yeah, they got it figured out.
How about you, Jason? What's your thoughts on All Lives Matter,
Oh,
Proud
he's a full
Boys?
patch fucking. No, I'm just kidding.
Um,
Can't say that.
I don't really have any thoughts. I don't really know
You were an
much past.
accidental proudest.
Proudest.
Well, I still mean it when I say in the very literal sense, and not in the meaning that they intended that all lives do matter. I mean that is in everyone is equal and they have a right to their life.
It's just a really dumb organization. In the old Marxist terms, they would be like literally fucking like the lumpen group, where it's like they would go against, they would actively sabotage their own class just because they're dumb. They can't figure out they're being like used for this. So their own arguments, their own like worldview on stuff is like fucked up. So if someone was going to join them, you automatically know like, yeah, this is not a guy that has really thought about what the hell they're doing. It's like if a Jewish guy like started like getting like a swastika tattoo or some shit, right? Then you can be like, yeah, I don't think you've really thought this through. I don't think I don't think you know exactly what you're doing here. And that's pretty much Proud Boys in a nutshell.
Well, that'll give the audience something to think about as we wrap up here. So
All right.
All
thanks
right.
for listening. Tune in next time if you have any thoughts on this podcast or Proud Boys or anything. We
No, I don't.
probably won't read any of it.
We don't want to hear anybody's opinion on this shit. just leave us warm, welcoming notes. Nothing on
Yes.
anything
Nope.
controversial we talk about.
Nothing bad.
But if you do want to leave something, you can email to Jason at jason.gmail.com.
I
Whoever
feel bad
has-
for whoever
Whoever has that email is gonna get fucked. Get wrecked.
Yep. Well, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, and if you do have anything worth saying that's good, then in the comments section. We still have our Twitter, which we don't really look at, but that's just verbal laxative. And yeah, thanks for listening.
And if you hate us, tell your friends to listen to us, and tell their friends to listen to us as well.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you want more people to talk
Yeah.
about this stuff, right? So
yeah, if you want to ridicule us, try to get as much people as you know in life to listen to us. So then you can share the ridicule.
yeah,
among all
I
your
mean, if you
friends.
really hate us, that's the best way to get back at us.
Yeah, just share it with as much people as you know. And also send any email to Jason's email address if you have any complaints.
We also have verbalaxative@gmail.com.
But specifically send it to Jason's email address.
That's the one.
All right, catch you guys after.
All right, man. See ya. Bye.
All right,
Or-
see ya.